talking physical media on FanZcene. On FanZcene. Shut up, rookie.
Well, hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene. I'm glad to be back this week, and hopefully there's no internet outages this time. Yes. Hopefully. So, how you been, Tom? How you been?
Peachy Keen is a jelly bean.
What's up?
What
I like the bogus.
I like your shirt.
Yeah, Dream Warriors.
Yeah. I
It's my
actually
all-time
found this.
favorite.
I had this for a while and I couldn't find it, and then I was digging out Halloween decorations today, and I'm like, oh, my Bill and Ted shirt.
My Bill and Ted, sweet. And this one, I've stretched the neck out of this one. It's just like
shit.
always goes one side. Oh, well, I've had it for a long time. But yeah, so welcome back to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene. We're going to have a nightmare on the Physical Media Show tonight. We're going to talk about the new Nightmare on Elm Street 4K box set. We will talk a couple other movies before we get into that. But let's say hi to the chat real quick, and then we'll get into some upcoming releases and all the good physical media stuff. So hell to you, Brian Barth. Glad to see you out in the chat. Yes, I hope the internet is reasonable this week and we don't have no outages as well. And Ace Hanlon says, I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. Welcome, Ace Hanlon. Glad to see you out in the chat. Thank you, Uncle Remus, for the, yes, it is a nice logo. I thought I'd do, spice it up a little bit tonight since we're talking mostly Freddy. I have not yet seen Monster Summer with Mel Gibson. I was actually going to buy it because it's on sale for the Amazon, but it's only on DVD on Amazon. I can't find the Blu-ray or 4K. So I'll have to look, see if I see the 4K of that because I didn't see it on there. And howdy to you, Dubafett. Glad to see you with us as well. What is up, Style Section? It says, hail all you Physical Media Mafia members and Greg's ISP. Don't you mess up this. Yes, let's hope it doesn't mess up tonight. What is up, John the Beagle Dad? Glad to see you with us. And we have Sagelis. I almost said Sagelis. We have 6. I was going to say 6. We have 6 in the chat tonight. If he doesn't stream tonight, I say we were right. No, I'm good. I'm here. I'm here. I
hear you.
Yeah, so I'm here tonight, so don't worry. Yes, peacefully, right? Mostly peaceful, right? What's up, Void King?
Mostly fiery but peaceful.
Mostly fiery but peaceful. Void King, what's up? Void King 48 at 24. Glad to see you with us as well. What's up, Stephen Luther? Glad to see you out in the chat. What is up, Gojilla 767? I'm like so bad with names. It says, hail, pre-ordered Kolchak series from Imprint. It will be the first time watch free. Oh, that's nice. I love the Kolchak series. I am kicking myself for missing out on the Kolchak movies that Kino put out, the first 2 TV movies before the series, because they are outrageously priced now. It's one of the few that went out of print, and I think it comes down to Disney somehow owns those. So, yeah. Good luck ever getting in. But yeah, I knew, yes, the Kolchak series is coming from Imprint, and you can also get it through Kino Lorber. I think you can still get the whole series on Blu-ray from them. It's because you're shoving your giant head inside. I have a giant head. Is it really that big? It's just my hair. I don't know. Yeah. Starbucks, yeah, the manufacturer. Well, I'm sure we'll get into the Steelbook and all that tonight, and we'll see how that goes. But make sure you guys tell everybody that the show is on tonight, and share it out, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But what do we have for the upcoming releases?
Honestly, I haven't really been keeping up all that much, so I couldn't tell you offhand. I'd have to go back and look here. I've been sporadic about things lately, so I apologize, but Awakenings, I think, was one that was just posted not too long ago today from Sony. The Robin Williams, Robert De Niro film. Let's see what else I got here. You might have some also in the background. But let's see here. Gosh, I don't have much.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what I'm looking to see if I see some. I don't think there was
Lionheart's
much.
coming to 4K, which sucks because I just bought that on standard and knockoff as well as coming to 4K from MVD. Yeah. Leprechaun is rumored to be coming to 4K from Lionsgate.
Yep, I did see that.
Let's see here.
And that's why I'm looking it up to see if I can find some.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean,
there wasn't too much that I saw. I see something about Mary
Edward
might be coming to
Scissorhands. Yeah,
4K.
something on Mary. Edward
Edward
Scissorhands is up for
Scissorhands.
pre-order now.
Yeah.
Um,
The Scars of Dracula is coming to 4K on 11/24. That's a Christopher
there was
Lee
some
one.
other Christopher Lee. I was gonna say maybe that's the one I'm thinking of, but I was gonna say there was a Christopher Lee Dracula one. I thought, but I thought it was the original.
The might be, and what and the we said the Frankenstein one, so
Okay, Public Enemies is supposed to be coming to 4K for some fucking reason. For those who don't know, that was one of the earlier digitally shot films, so it's forever in 1080p. So I don't know
Yep.
why the hell they would even bother. It looks like ass anyway. And the only reason I give a shit is because this movie was shot where I live. Yeah, so I was like, it's a piss poor movie, whatever.
Yeah, but hey, it's a piece of your film, your hometown history.
Kind of, well, not my exact hometown, but close enough to where it's like, kind
Yeah.
of a big deal. But then the Ninja series, I think we already have talked about those before.
The Boogie Nights is coming.
Boogie Nights
in
is
December.
also coming, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Amazon had a thing where they dropped it early and then they had to pull it.
Yeah, and then the
See how that
steelbooks
works
are already sold out on there. So steelbooks are.
Supposedly. I wish I cared more about that movie. Maybe I
Yeah.
would care. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love that movie, and if you do, that's cool. Paul Thomas Anderson. That's who directed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just him and his. I'm not into his shit for some reason.
Yeah.
That's the newest stuff I've got here on my end. I don't know if there was anything. I'm sure I missed a few.
That's what I'm looking at. Did we get the Men of Sherwood Forest is coming to limited 4K?
I don't know what that is. I'm sure it has something to do with Robin Hood, though.
Yes, looks like an old Robin Hood movie from like the 70s. It looks like almost could be even earlier than that. I've never heard of it actually, so that's coming. The Horror of Frankenstein was the other one coming to 4K from Hammer. The Horror of Frankenstein. Looks like with the Scars of Dracula. The War Wagon starring John Wayne and Kirk Douglas is coming from Kino Lorber on 4K. I don't know if you got that one.
No.
They're releasing a 5-movie Predator 4K collection on 11/10. So if you want all the Predators, and I think, the 20th anniversary of Rent. If you want the movie Rent is coming to 4K. So yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rent, but yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with the Predator one, what sucks is I'm sure it's just reprints of the old Fox discs, which from my recollection, Predator 2 is not from the negative. It is not a very good scan. So I'm assuming it's the same damn one as before.
Probably. And it looks like the Full Moon Features is finally going to start releasing all their movies that they turned black and white onto Blu-ray. So,
okay.
Yeah, well, you know how they've been doing that.
Charlie, just give us 4K.
I know he's he got into like noir. Charlie Band got into like the noir, the film noir. So he went through and he's made all of his old films black and white to look like noir films. So now you're, yeah. So now he's releasing on a double feature, Head of the Family and Hideous Noir on Blu-ray coming 120. So I think that was it. So yeah, there you go. There you have that. So if you want to get those.
Oh, Runner's here.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hello.
Anyway, this is why I was saying fuck Shit Factory.
Oh,
I should
yeah.
have waited. This is a much better steelbook. Look at this.
Look at that from Via Vision too.
Yeah, it's a lot, but
yeah, it is. What's funny about Via Vision is, and I don't know how they do it or what deals they are, is like they release stuff and it's the same. Like I bought the Gate from Via Vision, Gate 1 and 2. It's the Shout Factory Gate 2, and it's the Lionsgate Gate 1. It's the same disc. It's from Via Vision, so I don't know how they do that.
This looks like it's the same shit, same specs as
yeah. So I don't know how Via Vision does that, but they're from Australia. So
yeah, that's the problem with the pricing there. But I'm curious if, God damn it, because I hated Shit Factory Steelbook. That was horrible.
Yeah,
that was pretty bad.
Yeah,
Anyway.
But what did I miss? What are you
I
guys
got
talking?
cooties.
Nothing.
Were you guys talking about like was it new announcements for
Yeah, that's
stuff
what I
coming
do.
out?
I get
Okay.
told I have a giant head, so yeah. Anyways, hell to you, Anthony Draven. I see some people came in when we were talking, so hell to you,
Yeah.
Anthony Draven. What's up, Corlane and Rogue? Glad to see you as well. Yes, I got you. You are an Aussie. Who else? Did I miss anybody else? did did Runner have a court date? Nice profile pic.
Cousin's wedding.
He looks like a lawyer. He will.
Yeah,
He will
That's
fight
funny.
for your rights. If you're
I-
injured, just call Runner.
I was told that I looked like a wise guy, at least in person anyway, with the hair and shit.
Do I look like a wise guy to you?
You look like You look like young Maisie and Runner. If you can't get you off, no one else can. So that's what you look like.
Youth that get you off.
Exactly. That's why I said it that way.
What were some of the new announcements you guys talked about that I
We
missed?
just went over them. You've been here the whole time.
No,
wasn't
like
that
I just got here when like you still left me backstage and all that stuff. But
Because you don't deserve to be on the intro.
Yeah.
well, that's okay. I did like the new intro, by the way. I did see that. And then I was like getting ready to jump on here, but yeah.
It wasn't much. We just
It
talked
was
about
a true collaboration.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the only one that comes to mind is Boogie Nights. I'm pretty excited to
Boogie
get
Woogie
that
Woogie.
one.
And that's the one I was shitting on.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Wait a
unfortunate.
whole movie to see a fake dick.
No, that shit was hilarious.
It's about as hilarious as frogs raining after 3 hours of Tom Cruise.
Well, that's a different movie,
They're all
but
the same shit with this guy.
no, it's not
All
true.
the only movie this guy made that was even close to a real movie was the American Hustle one.
He didn't direct that.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah, that was David O. Russell,
That's right. I keep fucking that one up too. I keep fucking up.
and David O. Russell's a fucking piece of shit.
6, you are so right. This is what we deal with Runner. I listened to the intro, then I shut down until I was on the panel. This is how we deal with Runner. That's why he's a young guy. So
What are you gonna do?
Orgasmo's the movie I thought Boogie Nights was going to be.
Orgasmo was after though, right?
I didn't really like Boogie Nights either.
I love Boogie Nights. I fucking love
I'm
that
not a
movie.
huge fan of Wes Anderson. What's
Paul
his name?
Thomas
Anderson.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I get it. He's of acquired taste. Yes, Bryant Barth, I have seen One Battle After Another, and I may or may not talk about that tonight. Who knows?
You're probably one of the only few people that I have a feeling you liked it. Because from what I'm hearing is most of people didn't really care for it.
I'll say this much: it depends on the way you look at the movie. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna tell you whether I liked it or not. I might get to it because I have a movie that's connected to it with a certain actor. But yeah.
So basically tonight, kids, what we're going to do is we just have a couple movies before we get to the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, which will be the big topic of the night. So we're just got a couple movies we're going to share before we get to them. And then the whole show will essentially be a Nightmare on the Physical Media show and talking about the good and the bad of the Nightmare on Elm Street 4Ks. And since Runner is feeling very talkative and he has a pick he wants to talk about, so let's go ahead and start with Runner.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this first one is a movie that you all have seen and love, The Wolf of Wall Street. I rewatched this movie because, as you could see, the star in this one had a new movie that came out that I did see. That was just brought up, One Battle After Another, directed by PTA. I mean, The Wolf of Wall Street's a great movie. I rewatched it after One Battle just because it's another one of those movies that shows Leo's comedic chops. You know, he kind of does that in this new movie that he was in. And it was kind of like, oh, fuck, I should rewatch Wolf of Wall Street. So that was kind of my motivation to rewatch that movie, because this is one of my favorite performances of his. And I'm not like the biggest DiCaprio fan. He's good, but like, I don't know if you guys feel the same way or not, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this movie a few times. I enjoy it. I thought it was really good.
No,
I find it.
I love it.
I kind of find it as like the third part of the trilogy of like
The Scorsese
yeah, the
gangster.
Scorsese like
Yeah.
with kind of
I-
thing. So
I've
yeah,
heard you talk about it. It's like Goodfellas, Casino, and then Wolf of Wall Street, that kind of thing.
yeah, they work really well as like a trilogy of sorts because they're like the narrative carrying you through the story kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. No, when you talked about that, I was like, oh yeah, I could totally see that. But yeah, I mean, Brian Barth clearly wants me to talk about One Battle. Yeah, I guess unpopular opinion in this corner, I did enjoy it. Yes, it's political, but I I found most of it rather entertaining. It's it's PTA's most accessible movie by far compared to his other shit. Because his other stuff's it's a lot more artsy, quote unquote, I guess you could say. But oh yeah, that is one of the few. Well, I haven't seen Spinal Tap 2 yet though, so I can't speak on that. But you've seen that one though, right?
Well, I'm
Tom?
sure I'd feel much worse if I weren't
Oh.
under such heavy sedation, but still in all, I mean, you've got to be realistic about this sort of thing, you know.
Yes, I enjoyed it. I watched it again actually,
Oh,
and I think I enjoyed it more the second time around than I did the first time. So yeah, like many of their films before, they get a little bit better because you notice and pick up on things you didn't necessarily pick up on the first time, stuff like that. So
yeah.
no, yeah, no. My complaint with the film's pretty much the same as it was before. Unfortunately, the stuff that Spinal Tap have influenced this film now, to where it doesn't feel like a Spinal Tap movie so much as kind of like a YouTube video. Like it's
That's kind
just the
of
way it's shot. Yeah, it's
that's
just,
kind of
yeah.
what I got from the trailers. Anyway,
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it does still have big feeling to it. Like, I mean, you can tell there's a lot going on and all that kind of business. It just, the way it's shot now doesn't feel like the original Spinal Tap. I really wish Rob Reiner would have decided, you know what, I'm going to shoot this on like 16 millimeter, or something like that, just to kind of give it that
Yeah.
grungy feel like the original.
All right. Well, since we've talked Wolf of Wall Street, I think you've actually brought it on like 2 or 3 times, Runner.
I brought
I
it.
brought
I
it
know.
on at least
I know.
once or twice too.
I know. I
yeah.
brought.
Yeah.
I know. I brought it on once. I feel like Tom's talked about.
I think
it
I
the
have
most.
that steelbook, don't I? I think I brought that on.
Maybe you
Is that
do
the
have
Paramount
the steelbook.
one?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
Paramount
then yeah,
one.
yeah.
So,
But
final words
yeah.
and final thoughts, and then
But my reason for watching that was after seeing one battle after another, which, I mean, I briefly talked about. Yeah, I enjoyed it more than a lot of people. I mean, it kind of depends. Like, there's a lot of people that I know, like around my age, that loved it even more than me. But then there's people who are like, oh yeah, no, this is just not for me, and that's totally understandable. But I'll say this, like, if anybody out there is going to be like, oh, this isn't a competently made movie, that's where I'm going to be like, whoa, hold on there for a minute. Like, because there's things that you can abstract from movies you don't like, and be like, oh, like, it's competently made, it's competently shot. Like, the cinematography is amazing. It's actually shot in VistaVision, and it's 70 millimeter IMAX, that kind of thing. So it looks incredible. Like the visual quality of it, like, that's like, you can't take that away from it. But if the story, if that doesn't vibe with you, that's cool. I'm not going to argue that. So it's a movie of acquired taste, sort of like his other movies, I'd say. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts, really. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where you got to watch it for yourself and kind of look at it your way, because I don't know, everyone's kind of different with taste.
hey,
Well, I
like what
can't
you
speak
like.
to. Yeah, I was gonna say I can't speak to it too much because obviously I haven't seen it yet, and I don't even know all that much. I mean, I know the broad strokes of it, but I mean, I even noticed this with things like Peacemaker recently, where I feel like, look, I know it's probably the unpopular opinion, but I see a lot of people in our sphere kind of chasing ghosts with a lot of this stuff. Like even the Peacemaker episodes, the last 2 episodes, I'm like, people are making a much bigger deal out of this than I think there really is here. They're
That
overlooking a lot of
that's
context.
kind of how I feel about One Battle After
And
Another.
that's
to
what I
a
was
point.
thinking, kind of the way you're explaining it. It's like, I'm not saying that some of it isn't there, right? I'm not acknowledging
Yeah,
that.
no, that's what I'm
But
saying.
I don't
too.
feel like it's as heavy-handed as people are making it out to be, perhaps. And I can't speak to this movie, and it may be a lot more heavy-handed than even Peacemaker was, but I feel like Peacemaker was more of a misunderstanding on behalf of the audience, mixed with what James Gunn said and what's actually in the show compared to what people are projecting into the show. Like that is what I feel like is because it's, and I don't even want to get into the you know the down and dirty of it, but
Yeah.
no, I kind of hearing you talk about it the way you have, because I think even Critical Drinker didn't give it a horrible review either, or something like that.
I actually watched his review recently, and it's like, it's kind of what I expected. It's like he didn't think it was horrible. He just thought it was kind of slow, and the runtime he had a problem with, which I totally understand. If the runtime isn't your thing, I didn't mind the runtime as much. I would say my only problem with the runtime is I think the last 2 acts were much better and more entertaining than the first, but I think the first you kind of need to set up the first 2 acts, because I think the first 2 acts were better for me is because while it is a political movie in one sense, like it's also about a guy who's trying to rescue his daughter. That's kind of what the movie is going forward, and I think some people kind of lean towards a lot of the more modern shit, which I get to a point if you can't escape through that. I think that's kind of the problem. And that's the point that I'm getting towards, where like it really just depends on what you think and all that sort of stuff going into it. Like it's really going to depend on that. Um it is a more accessible film compared to his other stuff. Like, cause going into it, like when the movie was like in the making and stuff, people were like, "Oh yeah, this is PTA's most commercial film," and yeah, that's very true compared to his other stuff.
All right. Well, like I said, like what you like, and let's get Tom. If you're ready for your first pick of the night, we'll go to you if you're ready. I don't know if he's ready.
Sure, why not? Well, these next 2 movies are somewhat related, and we're talking about Spinal Tap. I have not 1 but 3 copies of The Princess Bride, so I finally sat
Nice.
down and watched the Criterion cut, because as far as I can remember, it's just pretty much the same scan as this import one I have. But no, the movie looks amazing. It's one of those classic films. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, Criterion did a really nice release that actually has like a digibook deal here and all that kind of stuff. Where I think it's, I don't know if it's the whole story, but I think it's like excerpts from the original story and shit like that. But no, yeah, it's a nice collection. Rob Reiner directed, of course. Stars what the hell's his name? I just forgot it.
Carrie Ells.
Carrie Elwes and Robin Penn Wright, or whatever the fuck she's called nowadays.
I think it's
It's
just,
Robin
yeah, I
Wright.
think it's just Robin Wright.
Yeah,
What's
and
funny is fucking Sean
Chris
Penn was
Sarandon.
in the movie that I was just talking about. He was the villain in that.
That's
It's
true.
like,
Yeah, okay.
It's like John Cougar Mellencamp. She dropped the pin.
Yeah, she dropped the pen. But no, like overall, it's a nice set. I didn't get to get into any of the extras, but knowing Criterion, it's probably chock full of them. And yeah, I mean, it's a nice book, kind of. For Criterion, that says a lot. Considering, I mean, the art on the front is not the greatest. It looks like it was drawn by a 12-year-old in art class.
I think it's
But,
supposed to invoke like the book, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know, but yeah. So then, yeah, you just open it up and
Yeah, I have that version too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But no, it's actually pretty good.
I
so
think
there you go.
Rook has that too.
Yeah, Rookie actually has that, surprisingly.
Okay,
He's like-
so,
he's
I
like,
mean, I'm sure
"Oh."
we talked about it before, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a great movie, As You Wish. I mean, it's all-time
Yeah.
classic. So, yeah, that's the thing with
It's a
like
kissing
with-
book.
Yeah, it's a kiss book. I know you don't like the kissing part. Do you want me to? No, it's okay. That's the thing though with Rob Reiner is like as much as he is the way he has made some incredible movies. The man does
Yes.
know how to make a movie.
He does.
Well, and
And
I
that-
only have one complaint about. Oh, go ahead for it. Sorry, I thought. you
No,
were
no,
done.
go ahead.
I only have one complaint with the film. It's the score. Something with the score, like when it's not Mark Knopfler's guitar, it is the worst synthesized, done with a Casio keyboard fucking score I've ever heard on a movie. And it's like, you're going, what the fuck did you do? But, you know, of course, then you get the trade-off with Mark Knopfler coming in with a guitar once in a while. But I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there is a Spinal Tap connection here. Besides Rob Reiner and Christopher Guest.
Oh, no. What's
Oh.
Mark Knopfler only agreed to do the song and the soundtrack for the film if Rob Reiner worked in a Spinal Tap Easter egg somehow. And what he wanted him to do was he wanted him to make sure that that Marty DeBurgy's cap showed up somewhere. So if you watch the movie, it shows up behind Fred Savage. He has it hanging on his bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The USS Ural.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hat that's in there. So yeah, there's that. And of course, obviously, the big one being that Christopher Guest is the six-fingered man.
Yes,
so, yeah.
I still can't believe that's him. It looks like I was always confused.
Yeah. I haven't seen the movie in like maybe like a decade in its full. So like it's
inconceivable.
So it's been a while, but like I always thought it was a great film.
Well, and Manny Patinkin, like, it was got just a stellar cast. Like, even you look at, like, you know, like, you never, he's unrecognizable as, you know, Inigo Montoya, or how we say his name.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and then you got, you know, Billy Crystal, of course, and Carol Kane.
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant, yes. Chris Sarandon, as I mentioned before, who's great in it. And he plays, he's, because you couldn't believe him. You kind of believe him for a little bit. He actually does the twist really well in the movie, even though you almost don't want to believe him, but then you do, and then you're like, shit, that little fucker got me. You know, you kind of turn into Fred, and that's the beauty. I mean, that's the beauty of this movie. Let's be real. That's where Rob's. Look, I hate saying like when it comes to his politics, he's a fucking moron.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to making movies, you're right, Ronnie. He's a fucking brilliant filmmaker, and the brilliance of this film was to hang it on this narrative of this kid being told this story by his grandfather. Because otherwise, this movie, I think, would have just kind of languished somewhere between Labyrinth and fucking Legend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And those movies didn't really do all that well at the box office. They became cult classics. And I think this would have eventually grew into a cult classic, but I don't think it would have been the cult classic that it is today without that. Like, that, to me, is what brings it to that next level and adds the humor to it and allows the characters in the story to do it tongue-in-cheek and break the fourth wall at some points, kind of, in a way. And it works so fucking brilliantly, and it has this sweet-natured humor to it, and it's never taking itself too seriously. And I think that's what makes it work so well. It has that storybook story element to it.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
That's why that song is so brilliant too in the Mark Knopfler situation. You know, I was just talking about before. Like, for those who don't know who the fuck he is, he's the main guy in Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, etc., like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of the greatest guitarists ever.
Yeah.
So yeah. So like, I mean, it's and to contrast that with that synthesized score, to me, is just like sacrilegious. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? You couldn't have spent a little bit of money on a better score. Like, I don't get it. Yeah.
But you know, you're right. It's because like in the end of it is like we are all the guys watching the movie are Fred Savage, because they knew the women were already going to buy into the movie right off the bat with The Princess Bride. So like, how do you sell this to also the dudes at the same time? So that was like once again, like you were talking about his Reiner's directing and everything. And then it's like he knew how to bring along everybody. He knew how to bring along the young boys, the young girls, the men, the women, and I think get them all invested in this movie.
And I think the Fred Savage thing came in pretty late in the game, from my understanding, and I learned this from the Spinal Tap book, because when he was talking about that with Knopfler, he's like, "Fuck, how am I going to get a modern Cap into a movie that takes place in medieval times?" Like, he's like racking his brain trying to figure out, like, can I hide it somewhere in the background or whatever? And then I think at some point this narrative structure came into play, and he's like, that's where I can put it. You know, obviously it'll be in the kid's room. You know, so like that happened. And, you know, you also have, Columbo. God, I just forgot his name. Peter Falk.
Yeah, Peter Falk. Yeah.
Playing basically twice his age here, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, there is elements of Neverending Story 6, and this is a good kind of companion piece to that. But I would say this is the better film. I mean, Neverending Story is good, but to me, the thing that works about Princess Bride is nothing in it is fantasy, right? Like, yes, the story is a storybook story, but there's no dragons. There is a few elements of, like, the rodents and other things like that are a little out there, but there's still things that could technically exist in the real world. It's a straightforward romance set in the medieval times kind of story, but the way it's framed, like Greg was saying, and that's what makes it so brilliant, is that it's presented to us in a way that gets both men and women involved. And I remember at the time that being the big thing about it and how it was sold as a comedy. Now, Neverending Story was never sold as a comedy.
No.
Right? Neverending Story was sold as a straight up fantasy, to where this is almost like it was making, I don't want to say it was making fun or satire of those things, because those elements aren't really there, but it really is almost like Saturday Night Live-esque movie making. Like, it's not quite Airplane parody or satire, but it's right on that fucking line.
Right.
Especially when you get to, like, the the stuff with, like, Billy Crystal and he's mostly dead.
Yeah, he's mostly. There's just a few like in Miracle Max and like the torture machine thing. There's a few of that. So, but it's like also played in tongue in cheek, like you said. So,
but you don't have dragons. You don't have certain elements of things that would really be playing into that. We're making fun of Krull and all these other kind of movies. Like, you could have done that. I'm surprised. That's like the one frontier I think that Mel Brooks didn't touch. And maybe it was because Princess Bride did it so brilliantly without even acknowledging that shit. It almost feels like a Mel Brooks movie at times. Yeah. But it almost feels too sweet-natured to be a Mel Brooks movie. And that's what makes it a Rob Reiner film at the end of the day. And and I hate saying and giving Rob Reiner so much praise, but he probably is one of the greatest directors of all time to be able to jump from comedy to, drama, horror, which we're going to get into in just a little bit. Yeah. To drama, to, whatever you want to do, romance and everything else in between, mockumentary. I mean, he's one of the guys that helped create that genre. If it wasn't for him and the guys behind Spinal Tap, we would not have ever gotten The Office, right? Which led to so many other shows that are just like that now. So,
sometimes you have to separate the art from the artist. And I think he is well enough aware to know that he needs a lot of people to see his movies. Times were different back then than they are now. So, but like, I think he was well enough to where to know that he needed more than just what he believed in watching his movies. He needed an audience of America to watch his movies. So I think that's why he was so good at it, because he captured that, and he doesn't really get political in his movies outside of maybe the American President. I think he did is like Clark the Shark mentioned, but even then, that's not even a really political movie.
No, that's the beauty of that film.
It's more like a romance in it.
It is, and Michael Douglas, I think he was even wasn't he playing a Republican president in that film too? I think he was for some reason. I could be wrong. It's been quite a few years, and I love that film.
I believe
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie at all.
I believe it's an Aaron Sorkin script too.
Yeah, that too. Like, of course, that helps.
That helps.
But I mean, and it also helps that when that movie was made, both sides of the political party were threatening to just destroy.
No, there was an air of respect still. That's the difference, right? Like, and that's what we talk about. Not to get too political, but that's kind of what we talk about all the time lately. There was at least an air of respect on both sides. That regardless of how much of the mud flinging and everything that went on, and certain people disagreed with things, you didn't have the political divide you have in the world now. Yeah. And if anything, Rob came from an era where that was, and you would think people like him would have learned from it. But that being said, let's get that aside.
Yeah. Let's move that to the side. Yeah.
even with Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, he still can show that he can make a movie without getting his. There's not one moment in the entire movie that's politically driven. There's the Stormy Daniels joke, right? That's in all the trailers, which is actually one of the funnier jokes, right? Why did you pick this venue? Well, there was an opening. It's what dropped out an evening with Stormy Daniels. That's the joke, right? Like, that's it. That's it. And there's one other joke that you could kind of read into it as somewhat woke, but it's a joke. So to me, it works without even being a woke thing, right? And I think we kind of hit on that a little bit when we talked about it. But same thing here. Like he just proved again with that now that he can still do it without getting that bullshit involved, and he could in the past as well. So I know Runner's got another title. I know you got some more titles.
I got some. Yeah.
So let's see what you got.
I know, because we're going to get to the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff. Don't worry, guys. Just some titles we watched also.
2 shows into one here.
Yeah, because we missed last week. But speaking of which, we mentioned this on a show a couple weeks ago, and so I wanted to watch it. I watched Arachnophobia, directed by the Physical Media's very own Frank Marshall. So we have Arachnophobia here. So that's what
There he is.
There he is. And I got to be honest with you. This is a great movie. I love this movie. And before Tom turns it to Frank Marshall gets on it, it has a special feature on here called Frank Marshall Featurette. I was very, very disappointed to hear Frank Marshall talk and him not sound
That's an imposter.
like you at all. He doesn't sound like that at all. He sounds
I
very
told you,
normal.
fuckers. He's an imposter.
He sounds very, very normal. Just like his voice isn't even that deep. So
that man is very browbeaten by that bitch.
this was well before that. So
Oh, he was then too.
yeah, I believe it.
Notice
up,
it's always
Hayes?
Kathleen Kennedy and Frank Marshall.
Yes.
She didn't even change her name.
Nope. She did not even a little bit.
No, it's Kennedy Marshall.
Tom does. Yes, Tom does Frank Marshall better than Frank Marshall.
Yeah,
I was very disappointed. I was very honest. I really legitimately was very disappointed after I watched the movie, and then I watched that special because it's just his first movie he directed after being with Amblin for so long, and so they like do the little special on set. And everything.
Did do second unit directing on Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yes. They mentioned that. In that
that needs
feature.
to be mentioned.
Yes, they do mention that. If they said he did second unit for Roger Rabbit.
I practically directed that thing.
I believe it.
Bob Zemeckis, he's all talking about Back to the Future 2 and 3 with cowboys and hovering boards and stuff. And I'm just like, concentrate on the fucking rabbit. So I had to like ghost direct that movie. And then after that, I'm like, let's do this with spiders. Spiders. Did you hear my audio commentary? I do the world's greatest zombie audio commentary.
It doesn't have an audio commentary on
You are lying. It is on there. I recorded it.
Is it on there? Let me see.
Here's a snippet of me right now talking about it. This is my favorite scene here because this is John Goodman. John Goodman's a fucking bro. Like he was drunk. He done fucked 6 hookers before this scene. And we had to cart him in. Don't ask him about it though. He'll lie. He'll lie about the whole fucking thing. You see that spider there? That's a real spider. That's a dangerous spider. It damn near killed John Peters.
See, now I want you to record an entire Arachnophobia commentary as Frank Marshall. That would be hilarious.
In fact, I asked John Peters to visit that day in hopes that the spider would kill him. That's a snippet from the audio commentary you can only get available on my home video.
I want to see that. No, I wish there was an audio. All they got is a production featurette, Frank Marshall featurette, and a Venezuela sequence is all they got. And I like what Captain Crypto says. He's avoided all Frank Marshall interviews because he doesn't want to hear the man speak because he wants to get preview him as you. So
Congo.
I know. So, but for anybody, what the movie is about this.
Okay, I'm dropping that.
It's like they find this spider out in the Venezuela jungle out there, a new breed of spider that has like these drone spiders and that are extremely poisonously deadly. They kill the photographer they bring in. They ship his body back to the U.S. The spider hops along in his coffin they built for him to send him there, drains him dry, gets into this small country town in the U.S. that just so happened that Jeff Daniels and his wife and the kids are moving to, so he can be the town doctor because they're moving from San Francisco. And it mates with a house spider, and they create this another deadly form of spider, and it starts killing the people in the town. And it's called a thrillomedy. As a matter of fact, that's what they call it in the
Yeah,
special
they
feature,
really-
a thrillamedy.
They really kind of banked on this being the next Gremlins, I think,
Yeah,
because that's really the way they kind of presented it, and obviously, so like Amblin Entertainment, you know, Kennedy
Yeah.
Marshall, Spielberg, that whole thing, they knew what they were doing in that respect. And I don't know if this movie did that great at the box office. I remember it was one of those movies that was more overhyped, I think, than it actually did business.
mm-hmm.
But I remember it getting like a cult following on home video, of course.
Yes.
And I'd have to look up
Pretty
the
good
actual
movie.
box office. I don't even remember how well it did, but yeah, no, overall it's a very well filmed. You can see where Frank's strengths lie, and you know, in the future with his producing Jurassic films and Congo and whatnot. Clearly,
Yeah.
you know, this is kind of a prototypical Michael Crichton kind of film, right?
Very
it's
much,
not
very much.
yeah, very much in that. Like you could see this being a Michael Crichton book,
I mean,
almost.
I'm watching this and it's like I feel like they're ripping off. Did this come out before Jurassic Park?
Yeah, years before.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it was even before Jurassic Park was written. But like,
Uh,
I was just gonna say the only thing it's missing is a Jeff Goldblum like scientist, really.
Yeah. Well, no, there is a scientist.
There
well,
is,
yeah,
but it's not Jeff
but
Goldblum.
Not Jeff
but yeah.
Goldblum. No, but yeah, you're not wrong. It's like the beginning of this movie legitimately reminds me of Jurassic Park because they're flying into the jungle and they're searching at out there and they find a spider. It's just like almost like the beginning of Jurassic Park. And then
Yeah.
not only that, you mentioned what was the other thing you mentioned?
Congo.
No, the other movie you just mentioned. You said Jurassic Park and something else.
I said Congo. And,
I know you said Congo, but Jurassic Park. Oh, that's what I'm sorry, I said it in my head. I feel like George Lucas may have ripped off this movie with the Phantom Menace.
Really?
Yes, because once they kill the main spider, the drone spiders die.
Oh well, I mean that's kind of a typical thing in sci-fi.
Yeah, I know, but I feel
robots,
like
but
because all I kept
that
thinking
is
was like the
strange. I
Phantom
never even
Menace
thought
thing.
about that until you just brought it up. Because it's been like, fuck. I have this Blu-ray, but I don't know if I've ever watched it. I haven't
looks
seen
good.
it
It
probably
looks
since
really good.
video. Like, yeah. So like, I'm trying to even remember the film. Like, I remember bits and pieces. More specifically, like the John Goodman scenes. I
Yeah, the John
remember
Goodman
parts
stuff
of the
is really
end
good.
being in the barn. But I don't
Mhm.
remember the other spiders dying off for some reason. Like that
Yeah,
seems odd.
They don't
but
show
okay.
him, but they say it because, like, after he
Okay.
kills it and he comes out of the thing, and after he comes out, after he has a fight with it, and he comes out of his cellar, and his wife's got him, and John Goodman's got him, and they're like, they're all dying now. They're all dying now. You got them, and the ones that John Goodman didn't kill, they're dying.
I guess
So-
if it's, I mean, maybe it's not explained well enough to where if like maybe the other spiders can't reproduce, so you need
Yeah,
like
that is explained. in the
that's
movie.
okay. So that's probably
Yeah.
what it was then. Yeah. So
Yeah,
the other
'cause
ones
it-
will die off after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, because Julian Sands plays the spider scientist that they meet. in
Unless
there.
they mate with other spiders, they didn't think of that.
It does make that's the whole thing. Is like in the beginning of the movie, the spiders they find out in the jungle, the
Yeah.
little ones that they call the drone spiders. It has no reproductive organs. They make sure to make note of that. And then like the queen spider, the whatever it is, when it comes back, it mates with a normal brown house spider. And then those eggs become the new drone spiders, like a blend of this spider and the brown house spider, and they go out kill a bunch of people. So yeah, and they also make sure to mention that they do not have reproductive organs as drone spiders. But also I can't remember where they said they filmed this, but they literally, if they left any there, they legitimately made an invasive species in America, an invasive species of spider in America, because they shipped over thousands of spiders from New Zealand. It was a spider they found in New Zealand. They liked the way it looked.
My
They thought it
lawyers have instructed you to shut your fucking mouth right now.
clip. I was watching Frank Marshall picked it out himself in the Frank Marshall's thing. He said, we
Zip
found
it.
the perfect spider in New Zealand because it looks intimidating
Zzz.
and normal. And they shipped it over from like thousands of them from New Zealand to the small
Look.
town. So if there's
How
any
the fuck
there-
was I supposed to know Peter Jackson was going to make New Zealand this thing? Back then, nobody knew what the fuck New Zealand was. It was this thing far, far away. And they're like, hey, we got these spiders. I'm like, cool, bring them over. They got away from us. I lied. I said we caught them all. Trust me, none of the deadly spiders got out except for the one that killed John Peters. And that one is okay, so don't worry about it. But as far as my lawyers tell me, we have accounted for all of the dangerous deadly spiders from New Zealand. We sent them back to the Hobbit.
I hope so, because I can't even remember. I was watching, for the life of me, I can't remember where they filmed this. I want to say Florida. So
let's say that.
I just cannot remember where they filmed maybe it was Georgia. I don't know. I cannot remember. But yeah, I'm thinking they legitimately put in an invasive spider species into this small town.
Damn it, Captain Crypto, you got to start writing my script.
I ain't never been to Old Zealand. I'm telling you, you have to.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never seen no real spiders from New Zealand. I ain't never even been to Old Zealand.
I'm telling you, you have to record a commentary for arachnophobia as Frank Marshall. You have to do it.
But like your version of Frank Marshall.
Yeah,
of course. It's all gonna be bullshit. But yeah.
It's like the John Goodman story. He was drunk as hell and he actually killed this kid.
Killed a kid on the way to the set. We covered it up.
We said it was a spider that we brought over from Old Zealand.
Old Zealand. It's such an old part. They don't even know where these spiders originated from. They could be 10,000 years old. We don't even know how long they live.
They told me they were
had a spider
like
wrangler, but he died.
They told me they were immortal like the Highlander, so I thought I was getting them from Scotland. So
yeah. After the Wrangler died, well, we just started tossing them everywhere.
Yeah, maybe we might have to do that one day.
Funny thing is, the Wrangler didn't die from a venomous spider bite. No. He fell off a scaffolding.
We just said it was a spider.
Well, of course, that's what we told the press. Yes.
But no, it is actually a pretty fun movie. They really don't make movies like this anymore. It's a pretty solid movie. It is funny and it does have a lot of like
frightening at times,
moments.
especially if you don't like spiders, it will get to you. Yes.
Yes.
I was gonna say, so, like, depending on the spider, spiders do freak me the fuck out.
Oh, they made sure to get some scary looking spiders in this.
Well, this movie, and this is what I remember about watching it the first time as a kid. Like, this movie did a very good job, like, with shadows and tricking you into thinking that everything was a goddamn spider in this movie.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
The scariest ones are like the bigger sized like tarantulas that are like extra hairy. It's like, ugh.
They got a few of them in the movie.
Oh God, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, those freak me the fuck out, dude.
The main big queen spider, or whatever you want to call it, is a puppet. It's just a giant like spider puppet they made. It's probably as big as your hand. Is the main spider, but all the other spiders legitimately were shipped over from New Zealand, and they like use hair dryers and stuff to maneuver them to, like they blow on them and then they scurry this way, and then like other shots still have puppetry for other things and stuff like that. But no, it is pretty scary. They do kill a lot of people in this movie. It is very like they do slip into jokes and everything, but it is a very like serious movie at times. Of course, the final battle between Jeff Daniels and the main spider is kind of goofy, but it's really cool and fun to watch. So I liked it. It's a good movie. You really just don't get movies like this anymore. It's a great double feature with 8-Legged Freaks. So watch Arachnophobia and 8-Legged Freaks, and you'll have a good. I love monster movies like this. So there you guys have it. And I know we're already like 50 minutes to the show. Haven't even talked Nightmare on Elm Street. So let's get them.
What's next?
Yeah, what do you got, Runner? Sorry, I hit the wrong one. What do you got, Runner?
Hey, that's not me. The next one I have is a movie that I saw in the theater this year, and that is F1.
F-U?
Mine got delayed, so F-U.
Really?
Yeah, the Steelbook got delayed. I don't know why.
I was gonna say, I had a feeling you'd get the Steelbook. I just got the normal.
I could have got it from Walmart, but like I'm looking at going. Well, I guess I gotta wait 2 weeks for the Steelbook. So
yeah, was it yesterday? I drove to not the nearest Walmart, but like another one that I would have to drive like 30 minutes to, and there was like one more copy left on the shelf.
we got a shit ton at the one I was there the other day, but I'd have to look again.
Yeah, because the other Walmart, the one that was much closer to me, didn't have like anything on the shelves.
Why do I
Like
feel like we've talked about this movie already once?
I
F1.
don't think we have. Yeah,
maybe not.
Runner saw it in the theaters and talked about it.
I talked about
Oh,
I
okay.
talked about
Till
it
you watched Days of Thunder. and then
No,
you
I
talked
no,
about it.
no, I watched Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, Top Gun, man.
I
thought it
wanted
was
to
Days
watch.
of Thunder.
I wanted to watch Days of Thunder, but I just couldn't. I don't know. I didn't think too hard to like rewatch that one, but I watched Top Gun Maverick because it's the same director, Joseph Kosinski. And yeah, it's a great film. I'm glad it's on physical because it's an Apple film. Actually has the logo on there next to the Warner Brothers, but yeah.
Fuck Apple.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not a big fan of streaming, so
hey, at least they put their
At
shit
least
in the
but
theater.
yes, and
at the
I
same
think Warner
time,
Brothers.
Yeah, I agree with you, but like this is one of those things where I feel like this might be the future of film here because this was
I
a
agree.
situation where Apple just bought into the streaming rights to it. Warner Brothers bought into the theatrical and home video rights to it.
Now, see that I'm okay with though.
Yeah.
And so so I mean both parties seem to have done very well with this film. I'm sure, and
I was
it'll
gonna
do
say they're
probably
not
wonders
Netflix.
for Apple Plus or whatever the hell it's called. So yeah,
Apple TV Plus. I was gonna say like Apple's one of the better ones where like
this will probably be the biggest boost they get.
I was gonna say this is easily the best like film that they've like produced.
Well, between Napoleon, the Leo one from Scorsese, and stuff
Killers
like that.
Killers of Fire.
Yeah, this movie's done, I think, infinitely better than either one of those have, and so I think once this drops on Apple, this is going to we'll get stories where they'll say it's their biggest boost.
But the thing is, like those movies that you guys mentioned were exclusively Apple, and they don't plan on releasing them anytime soon.
What's weird about that is like when they released those in theaters, it was like I think Paramount bought the distribution rights for theaters. Columbia Pictures / Sony did Napoleon, and there was one more in there where Argyle. I think it was Universal that got the
and as my understanding, these are similar deals to those, but at the end of the day, this has probably been their most successful one. So hopefully both sides see this and go forward. I mean, not just Apple, but I mean, even Netflix would be smart. Because I said they missed out on putting Happy Gilmore out in theaters. Because even if half the people that fucking watched it on Netflix went to see it in theaters, I think it would have made like $100 million its opening weekend.
I was going to say, I think that would have done well. And even that K-pop Demon Hunters movie, like that would have done well considering how well
it did do well when they did bring it out. But you're right. Had they brought it out first in theaters instead, then it probably would have done even more. You're right.
But the problem with the theatrical thing is it was only a sing-along for like 2 days of its theatrical run.
Yeah, and that did amazing. That's my point. So if
it did do pretty good. But I think if they had done a longer window, I think it would have done much better.
And prior to it being on streaming. And I think that's what they'll learn eventually, because it was the same thing in video. It's just backwards instead of the other way around. Because that was in video, like I've pointed out a million times over, is like even movies that we thought were straight to video, sometimes you'll come to find out they technically did get a theatrical release, but sometimes it was like 2 theaters. Just so that when they sold the video, they could say it was in theaters and charge more for the video. Because movies that were straight to video were usually only like $50. To where if a movie was said to be in theaters, they could charge like $80 for it.
Yeah. Do you think studios have figured out? No, I don't think they figured out streaming.
No.
I think I don't think they ever will. Personally,
some are getting close, and I think we're at that window where they're going to figure it out. But it's going to take a while. Disney's never going to. Certain other streamers won't. Amazon's a little ahead of the game, understanding they need to get into the theatrical business.
I was gonna say it's like Amazon and Apple are like the best when it comes to like them actually doing theatrical stuff.
Apple needs to prove to me they actually give a shit. See, because they've been so hit and miss with that, and they really have never come out and flat out said, like, I've heard more to the contrary, where they would rather just, but a lot of times this theatrical business comes at, the request of the director or something like that, usually, so they have to compromise.
I mean,
now this F1 was a little bit different because it was Warner Brothers buying in, and they basically got theirs, I think, from what I understood, is basically Apple got it paid for by by Warner Brothers at the end of the day. But Warner Brothers is still going to do well with this because, they made, $400 million all set in worldwide. So it still was profitable plus the home video. So
Yeah. Also, like, another problem with like most of the movies that Apple's produced are like really high budget for a lot of them, like including that Scorsese movie. When I heard the budget
Yeah.
was however much it was, I'm like, how the fuck? Like, what? Because I saw the movie and I'm like, there's no way it cost that fucking much.
Well, it's like this movie, I'm sure only cost probably not even 100 to make, but they charged Apple and Warner Brothers 200 just so they could, make their money back in a profit.
Are you talking about F1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's my understanding is they paid in about 200 million, and I don't know the actual budget.
I think
that's how much they asked for. The
I
company.
I,
Brad
I
Pitt's
remember
company did.
I remember when I think when it was like when it was being made, like somebody reported that the budget was like 300 million, and then Jerry Bruckheimer,
No.
and then Jerry Bruckheimer's like, no, that's not right. It was like around the 200.
I don't even think it's that. Like I said, I think it's closer to 100, and then they just charged an extra 100 to cover their expenses and all that business.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Plus, like, I don't know if you heard this, but
I'm just gonna go to the video store. I'll be back.
Actually, have you seen the movie, Tom?
No, I haven't. But...
Okay, neither of you have.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm waiting for my Blu-ray, even though I do have I guess you could call it digital copy somewhere here, but yeah, I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, no. So like during the making of it, like I guess I heard about this recently is during the strike, the actors strike, they were shooting the race car driving scenes when the F1 races were happening and stuff. They were able to get away with that. They just couldn't do any of the acting shit. So I thought that was a pretty cool, interesting fact about the movie. But overall, it's very, very straightforward movie. It's very fun. It's a good popcorn flick. Very likable characters. Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem, like their chemistry is incredible. And overall, the cinematography with the racing and all that sort of stuff is really, really cool. And yeah, it's a nice feel good movie. At least that's the way I felt leaving the theater the first time I saw it.
When Brian asked why our budget's 200 million, well, this is the thing is like I'm learning more and more that a lot of the time the budgets they're reporting and stuff like that, they're only spending like half of what they report. And sometimes it costs them half the cost just to do business with some of these production companies.
Yeah, most of like the people from like are pocketing the money from like the executives from another company overseas for China for whatever company here that's putting money in are pocketing the money, and the movies really aren't $200 million.
No, and I mean I can think of a few examples that I know for a fact that didn't cost that much, like the two versions of the Exorcist 4 that were filmed. Like what they reported was twice as much as what they actually spent.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's again movie math, and this is why I don't trust half of anything anymore. But yeah, no, I'm glad you liked it. I'm looking forward to seeing it myself. Sorry I haven't seen it yet. But yeah.
Yeah. Maybe next time if you see it and you bring it on, we'll talk about it more. Because I'd like to hear what you think.
It's supposed to be like 2 weeks, I think, yet before I get the Steelbook. So yeah.
Oh, 2 weeks.
Yeah, at least I think. Man. Like I said, it got delayed for some reason. Either Amazon oversold their stock and Warner Brothers is probably sending them more or something like that is what's happening with that.
Typical Amazon.
And Warner Brothers for that matter.
Yeah.
We'll probably talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But speaking of which, Runner, you got anything else you want to say before we go to Tom? Because I know, like, we're
getting overtime. Yeah,
we're getting overtime.
I mean, I can't think much of it. I'm just glad it got a physical release because I remember seeing it in the theater, just being like, and I saw it early. Like, I went to one of those early screenings for it, and I was just like, I remember just being like, yeah, like people are gonna really love this movie. It's just a lot of fun. It has a good kind of vibe to it, and I'm like, man, I hope Apple does the right thing and do some sort of physical release somehow, because yeah, it's just really good. I'm like this is gonna be one of their more successful films. Like getting out of it, I was like, I think people are really gonna like this.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Well, on
All
that
right.
note,
What do
if
you
I didn't
got,
already
Tom?
spoil it, my next Rob Reiner film I revisited was Misery,
Ooh.
Loves
the
company.
Stephen King film. Now, I guess this is misframed on the Shout Factory version, was fixed finally on the Kino version, if I'm
Mhm.
not
I have
mistaken.
I have
I
the
think I
Kino.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it looks great, looks amazing. Now as far as special features, I think it's just all the same stuff from before that's been recarried over again and again and again from Shout and MGM.
Mhm.
But no, I mean, I think you can get this for a rather affordable price. Has both the original stereo and 5.1 mix on it. I mean, this movie is just fucking amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
again, how Rob Reiner could distill what is arguably one of Stephen King's better books into a film is
Mhm.
amazing. And not only that, he like, I don't know if it was on purpose or if it was on accident, but watching it, many times, I've seen this movie many fucking times. And it just kind of occurred to me over the last few times of seeing it of how much of an influence Psycho must have had on this movie.
Mm.
And if you
Yeah.
watch it, I mean, in the cinematography,
I could see that.
the tone,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
with the character, with the officer played by Farnsworth or whatever. Like, and this movie is just chock full of fucking, talk about, Princess Bride having a stacked cast. This is a stacked ass cast,
Mhm.
just from top to bottom. I mean, and then of course, of the strangest thing of all is the one person who won the Oscar was Kathy Bates. But I mean, yeah, I can't recommend it enough if you haven't seen it. Arguably one of Rob Reiner's best.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really tough. I mean, he really shined with the few Stephen King properties he did, which is probably why he started Castle Rock Entertainment and
Mhm.
produced a lot of Stephen King stuff. But yeah, it is just a great, straightforward thriller
Yeah.
/ suspense / I mean, it is a flat out horror film by the end.
Mhm.
I mean, and to just, you feel the claustrophobia and the entrapment, that James Caan's character feels in the film, and Kathy's performance as Annie Wilkes just jumps off of the page in a way that nobody else has been able to recapture it. I don't think anybody will be able to recapture again.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's, I think, been rumors about this movie being remade or, like a TV version or whatever, but let's leave it the fuck alone.
Yeah. Please
This is
stop.
one
I
that
was gonna say,
should
yeah.
not be touched. It's
I
already
know.
perfect. Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but I know that in that the Castle Rock TV series, they brought in her character. It was like the before the Misery, what she was doing.
Yeah, I think it covers
So,
when she was killing the babies and shit.
yeah, I think that's what it does. I never watched it, so I don't know how that,
when she
because
was referred to it, why we get to, I think we're supposed to find out why she's referred to as the Dragon Lady and all that
yeah,
shit.
yeah. And but no, this is great, and I agree with Double Fat. This is one of the few where it is just a straight up. It's not supernatural. There's no supernatural elements to it. This is something that you can really feel like could happen in real life, and you see it a lot with fans and stuff. And
It's
all
basically
around.
it's Stephen King's Hitchcock story.
Yes.
And that's why I think it's brilliant that, I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he just picked up on it subconsciously, Rob did, by making it feel a lot like Psycho. I mean, there's just there's a lot there that feels like this was lifted from the same universe almost. It's, it's just brilliant.
It is a really good solid. Much like you, I've seen that a million times. James Caan is incredible in the movie as well.
Oh
too.
yeah.
So like, I mean,
He's pitch perfect. Yeah.
he is great because he's like, James Caan, even he's like always playing this badass type of character in movies and stuff, and in this he's like
Most vulnerable he's ever been in a movie. Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
such a perfect acting job, and he's like, okay, Annie, when he's sitting there and he's like, what are you doing, Annie? What? I thought we were friends or whatever. I'm trying to think of lines. I can't think of, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Well, I
no.
love when he turns the tables on her and he's like, what happens to this and this and that with the whole Misery's Child thing, and he burns it before she gets a chance. Like that.
Right? I mean, he writes that whole fucking book and just burns it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she did it to him. Well, it's to get her back for what
Yeah,
she did
exactly,
to him.
exactly. Yeah.
Because she took his, what was his, this novel that he's supposedly been working on since, I think, what do you say, college or something like that, I think, in the movie. But like, yeah. And she just makes him destroy it because of how she was pissed at what he, it's just this brilliant. And again, this is one of those books / stories that King wrote. Whether he wrote it or not for real is questionable, I bet. But that being said, it's one of those stories that just feels like it always should have existed, right? It's always been there.
Yeah.
It's just another retelling of a classic tale. It's what is it? A Florence Nightingale with a twist, you know? Like it's so dark, and it's like you would almost want your nurse to be your biggest fan, but at the same time, at what point does that become a problem? Like, you know, like, and not only that, just her, the way she, you know, once we find out who she is and her own issues, and it's pretty obvious from the start that she has issues, but then when you really start diving into it and just how crazy she really is, and this also came out in an era where that was kind of when people were first kind of really talking about it a lot more, like the, you know, the obsession of, you know, whether it be a movie star or a musician or even a writer at that point. That's another thing too, is like, this is also an era where writers were almost like practically rock stars too. So, I mean, it is conceivable at that time that somebody like Stephen King or this character that, you know, is this proxy, you know, it became for this person, especially when you look at those kind of women that would have been in those, into those type of romance novels. Right.
Yeah.
So you can very much believe that they would get this obsessive like love affair in their brain with the writer, you know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of what's this torrid kind of thing that happened there. And I love the movie for what it didn't put into, like, because there's so many things in the book, they're just ancillary and extra that don't need to be there. Like, this movie did a great job of streamlining it. Hey, didn't Frank Darabont write who is it? I'm trying to think. William Goldman wrote this one. That's right.
Frank Darabont did.
He did later stuff. Yeah, but no. Yeah. So, like, again, just a brilliant fucking movie overall. Can't praise it enough. One of those rare perfect films, probably. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Solid movie.
It is a good movie. I saw it once, and it's really.
I saw it once.
I saw it once. I know. You guys seen it more than me.
And yeah, like Double Pet pointed, there's variant differences between the book and the film, but the film gives you the story you need.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it doesn't deviate, it doesn't dwell on other things. And King, this is one of his better endings too, to him.
Yeah.
This is what makes me wonder if he actually fucking wrote it.
Yeah, because he had not good at endings at all.
Yeah, King's real ending was probably like she turned into a fucking cocaine monster and devoured fucking Paul Sheldon alive. Like, yeah.
He married her, she became his wife, and he was abused for the days.
Yeah, they became lovers. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Buy my book. Yeah. Buy my book.
That's the version I want to see with John Lovitz as Paul Sheldon. So you're obsessed with me, huh? Yeah. So you will do things, right? Like sexual things?
No.
No. By the way, speaking of James Caan, did you hear that his son's going to be in the Cliff Booth movie?
I heard. I saw him possibly playing him.
Yeah,
well,
I saw that.
Asks a good question. Why don't I think he wrote it? Look, there's a lot of confessions as of the last few years where a lot of these big authors have confessed that they've had ghostwriters that they've hired to write their stories, because, like, my prime example is R.L. Stein. We found out that, like, a lot of those Goosebump books he did not write. He came up with some of the concepts, but he just didn't have the time. And that's the same thing with King. King was cranking out novels that were like thousands of fucking pages long, couple a year.
Yeah.
Right. So at that point, you're going, is this guy really? I mean, I'm not saying he didn't come up with the concepts, but sometimes I wonder if he didn't have a ghostwriter come in or edit like shorter versions that he wrote out. You know what I mean? Like, because there's some inconsistencies in some of his writings. I mean, if you really kind of dove into him, and I'm going off of vague memory from when I was younger. And I'm just speculating. I'm just, talking out my ass, really, to be honest with you. Though I'm sure there's probably, if you dig deep enough, there's probably insinuations that he might have had other hired ghostwriters at some point to help him get through his demand.
Yeah. Plus the way he talks nowadays and stuff, like how much he's turned off so many people.
Yeah.
And it's just like I do kind of find it hard that man wrote all those books that so many people found, so great and entertaining. They made movies about, and then who he is today. It's kind of weird. It's just, I don't know. It's just a weird thing to me.
Again, it's mostly just the volume, to be honest with you. It's not so much anything other than that. Because I do think, if anything, he came up with the ideas and the concepts. But I think at the end of the day, he had somebody come in and just help write a lot of that stuff, just because the amount of books that he pushed out back in the day. I mean, I think he's written more books than any other fucking author in history.
Yeah. And you know what? It also would not surprise me if his son Joe Hill wrote some of those books.
You'll have that kind of shit too. Like, even like comic art, that's more famous even in comics, right? Like, 'cause you've had how many comics now where the son or the grandson will take over for the original artist.
But
And even a lot of those times I hear that they're not even really the ones doing the art. They'll hire somebody else because they can't really do it. Yeah.
But his son Joe Hill does write books just like him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, so he's an
I could be
author. He
wrong
looks
and
dead on him too. So
King could also have had you know, this kind of way of doing it that just he was able to knock out these big huge books a couple a year, no problem. I don't know, maybe he had half of them pre-written for years. Who knows? I mean,
yeah.
I'm just, like I said, talking out my ass. But anyhow, that was the show, kids.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. No, I'm just kidding.
We're going to get to Nightmare on Elm Street. Don't worry. I have one more movie. We'll talk about it super quick because I'm the only one that's seen this, and I'm probably the only one that likes it. So
Debbie Does Dallas.
No.
Yeah, I
close.
bet.
No, not
Okay,
close.
I'm kidding.
I watched directed by Charles Band from his newest movies.
Ooh.
Oh, Death Streamer. Log On, Bleed Out. It's a vampire movie.
That is such a Charlie Band.
It is, and this is such an AI. This is AI.
You don't even have to tell me the fucking plot. I already can tell what it is, probably. It's
Go
a
ahead.
vampire who does an internet show or something, right?
Boom. You're right.
Bam, baby. I could work for this man.
Yes. And I love the fact that after
I would just never get paid.
No, you never would. I love the fact that I talked to him, and we talked a little bit about this when he was on the show. He thinks this is moving into modern times and trying to gain a little more modern, not like the modern audience people talk about, but just trying to get new people watching Full Moon. You know, like, these are new movies. We're going to make them a little more racier, a little more edgier, bring in the younger people. No, this movie feels like it was made in 2000. So, so instead of feeling like a 90s, it feels like an early 2000 movie. But essentially, the plot of this movie is there is this vampire. He does a web show where he kills naked women. It's Charlie Band. And a group of other web people who live in this church. And I love this movie. It's filmed in Cleveland, by the way. So that's why I like it, too. There's this other group, this man and two women who live in this church who film a show called Cryptids. You know, like a YouTube show where they put it together and stuff. And they discover what this vampire is doing, and they try to stop him, and the vampire comes after him. And it has one of the best. I love it. I love it. It's one of the best ways to stop a vampire at the end of the movie, because like this vampire's thing is like he loves to get, and it's clearly Charlie Band as well too, because he loves to get their tops off before he bites them. You know, he loves to see their boobs before he bites them. And so, like, he goes to bite the one of the main girls, and she unzips her tops. She's like, "You can't eat these," and she flashes her boobs to save the world by having a tattoo of a cross in between her breasts. So, and it gives, you know, the vampire goes back, and the guy stakes him in. You know, so there you guys have it. That's one of the best. It's a Charlie Band film. Yes, I do. It's too bad I can't watch a real naked woman, but.
It takes time.
Takes time. But no, it's a fun movie. It's really bad. It's really cheesy. Is the acting great? No. Is the special effects good?
Charlie
Not
Band.
at all. No. Yeah, it's Charlie Band. Not at all. But if you're looking to see a fun movie, just have a fun time, see some boobies, and some actually pretty cool vampire stuff. It's actually edited by Ted Nicolai, who did the Subspecies movies. So, you know, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. I like it. So
there you go. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
Six is like, let's talk about it. Yeah, we're good. I knew that was going to be a quick one. I just wanted to get that out of the way. So,
well, Nightmare on Elm Street. It's had a storied history on home video.
Yes, it has. It has.
You might even have some of the videos, the many videos that have been released over the years. And
I didn't grab it, but I have part 3 on VHS.
Well, it started with media, and then you had good old video fucking treasures, which then in turn became Elite. and then Anchor Bay. But like, yeah, that Elite Laserdisc / tape set was great. I should have pulled that out for this, but I did happen to bring.
I should have pulled out my VHS support
I think
too.
I paid $129 for this at Best Buy when it came out, if I remember right.
I know. I've actually been wanting to get that again. So
Again?
Sadie. Yeah, I used to have some of the DVDs, but I don't have it anymore.
Oh,
So yes.
but that's
Well, you probably
out of
wish you
print.
did, because it actually has things that are no longer
Yes.
carried over. Like, I mean, some of them are just
Yes.
little things, but the point is, man, every set we get less and less things, even though they do add some new things each time. I guess might as well break into the good, the bad, and the ugly here. I mean, just I guess for previous.
I mean, we're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, right?
We
This one?
have, you know, the old Blu-ray. No,
Oh,
Yeah.
No,
we're not
sorry.
talking this one.
Oh no.
You watched that one too?
No, I didn't. I was going to, but I couldn't even. I couldn't.
Then of course, I think
You know,
you have this.
What's funny is that's the only Nightmare on Elm Street I haven't seen is the remake.
Yeah, I did have that one.
I've
Then
seen
this
all
is
the
a
other
little bit
ones.
different steelbook. Oh, this is the one that you have too, Greg. Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
So-
that's a beautiful steelbook.
I actually kind of like that steelbook better. But now, of course, to make up for all that business, we have this new fancy dancy.
You have.
Steelbook
I don't
collection.
have that one.
Yeah, you have the other one that you'll show off here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have it. Look, this fucker was a lot.
Yeah, that's why I
And
can.
honestly, considering we get hardly anything new but 2 7-minute new features, and I mean, of course, you get the movies themselves, and we'll get into the quality wise. But you have, did you get lucky and get the red one? Because I guess they ran out of
Yes.
red ones.
I
Already.
got mine like a week early. So
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like I guess
the-
they ran out of red covers already.
Oh, really? Oh, that sucks. I
Mm.
might not get a red cover then.
and
And despite what Warner Brothers guy said, I mean, of course, some of the stuff he said has not come to fruition yet. What we're hearing is that Warner Brothers is not planning on doing any more of these box sets, but we've heard there's a ton of them still in the UK.
yeah,
'Cause I don't know if you guys
the
noticed.
steelbook box sets, right?
Yeah, the steelbook one. Because if I don't know if you noticed, if anybody who's got it besides me, they say they printed like 15,000 of these bastards.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm like going, well, then how are people having so many problems getting a hold of these? Because I can't believe there's that many fucking people. Maybe I'm wrong. Because I mean, yeah, these are selling out and stuff, I guess. So who knows? I mean,
Who knows? But what do you want to dig into this with all that?
well, we already
with
kind
all
of
that?
talked about the first film a year ago as far as
Yeah,
the
we talked a lot
transfer.
about it. Yeah,
It is probably, I guess I would put it near the top of the transfers, not the top, but near. It doesn't have as many problems as the other ones. It does have some still grain. Honestly, the one I would say that suffers the most, it's a tie between 2 and 5. And 2 has just been overly cleaned with AI. Jack got a little too crazy with the AI. You can tell.
See-
And he even talked about how he wanted to fix the bird and shit, but they wouldn't let him. That one I think is the most clean as far as having the most grain scrubbed out of it.
hmm
3 looks really good. The problem
I
with
thought 3 looked
3,
good.
yeah, the problem with 3 is this foot, just the stock that it was shot on. A, B, the fact that there's so many layered effects, so some of the shots look janky as fuck. But overall, I didn't notice a lot of over scrubbing or noise reduction outside the average. And I think each director got to choose the flavor. So Chuck being, this makes me feel good for the transfer we might get for The Mask if he has any control over that. Because, yeah, like you said, Greg, it is one of the better looking of the films. The problem is just the film itself is not a very good looking film, unfortunately.
I
Now,
mean,
4,
yeah, because I was watching, I thought I was like, it's not too bad. Some of the lighter spots were pretty good, So
yeah, but some of the effects shots really didn't hold up too well, and that's just it is what it is.
I thought the snake looked better in
Oh
this
yeah, but
4K.
that's all first generation.
Yeah,
But I'm talking
so I
about
thought
like
that
some
all
of the
looked good.
optical effects and some of the other stuff. Like even
Yeah,
the mirror
yeah.
sequences kind of didn't hold up as well in this version as it has in previous versions. But that being said, 4 probably one of the ones that looks the most amazing.
Yeah, I like
Rennie Harlan, I think, signed off on that one, and it looks like it, and it like much like the Long Kiss Goodnight that we got earlier this last year,
Yeah.
whatever it was. It looks great. It looks mostly natural. I mean, yes, it's had some DNR type stuff done to it, just like the rest of them have. But I don't remember noticing any still grain in 4 or anything like that. 4 looked great. 5, as I was just pointing out, that one doesn't so much have the reduction problem as it just has They did a new color timing on this movie.
This is what I want to talk because I was watching 5.
Yeah,
And
it looks
I thought
different.
it looked all right.
It looks
scan
fine,
wise,
but it's
I-
got a completely different color timing to it. Like it's
yeah, so,
leaning heavy into the blue.
Yeah, I did notice like a blue hue to it a little bit.
Yeah, and it just kind of bugged me. I did notice, I think from the best I could tell, they did finally fix the stereo surround track. Which if you guys don't remember,
Yeah.
I told you guys before, they've had it flip-flopped for every release ever on disc for some reason.
And I did like the uncut version. I know it's not much of
And you can
it,
tell that the footage
but,
for the uncut stuff does not come from a negative. It's clearly a secondary print or something like that. Yeah.
But it's nice to see it included in that.
So. Oh yeah, great. I just wish all the films got that treatment, unfortunately. I wish we had this. That's probably my biggest complaint we'll get to in just a moment, but just to get the other stuff out of the way. As you and I think both agreed, Freddy's Dead looks the best.
Yes.
Like this
I was
movie
honestly
improved
surprised.
Immensely. Because it's probably the first time we've ever gotten this close to the negative, because I'm sure if you've listened to those interviews and know anything about Rachel Talalay and the history of the film and the stuff that it went through, the movie's always been off from the start because of how it got released to begin with and the issues they had, and they had to reissue it because of the 3D problems and everything else. So it's always been compromised and recolor timed wrong or put out in a different timing than what it was supposed to be. Now it is officially, I guess, and this is what I remember seeing it like in the theater. Because it was weird, because I had like this weird flashback and going, oh yeah, this is what I remember the tone being more like in the theater compared to because the video felt like this overly brightened, damn near television movie in some spots. For some reason, and you can tell why now, because it was all fucked with in the post without Rachel's okaying the color timing, because it clearly, because if you know the movie, and I know the movie, most people do, and being Twin Peaks fans, the amount of influence that David Lynch had on this movie and the way that the tone was supposed to be set, I mean, with the actual color, right? Like it's not meant to be this overly bright. Because if you watch Twin Peaks always has this feeling like there's this overcast, even when it's sunny. And it's however, Lynch did the color timing, and it's the same thing here.
And it was filmed in the Northwest, which really helped because it's always cloudy there.
Which this is supposed to take place in Ohio to begin with, on top of it all. So, I mean, that movie probably looks the most improved, looks the most natural, looked like it didn't have hardly any noise reduction done to it as far as like major shit.
Probably the best.
That being said, the one that should look the best.
And I was highly disappointed because it's one of my favorites.
Highly disappointed with the way this looks. New Nightmare has been scrubbed to shit.
Yes,
that's sad.
It is way too polished.
Not as bad. Okay, not as bad. Like we're being a bit hyperbolic. It's not as bad as say like Terminator by Leagues. Or
no, not like that. No.
Okay, I'm glad it's not.
But it has no grain whatsoever. There's no grain. There's a lot of still grain in it.
I think Wes Craven would be ashamed.
Slightly disappointed. Yeah,
I was gonna say that's a bit.
It's even more scrubbed than the Scream transfers were. So I don't know who's overseeing these things for Wes, but I think this one was overseen by the director of photography. And again, why he turned around and allowed that to be scrubbed the way it was is beyond me. But it is the most cleaner looking of the one, and I mean clean in a negative way, because it's been completely like, and not completely. Again, it's not as bad as some other releases, but you'll notice it when you watch it. It's like they tried to make it more like it was shot on digital.
Yeah, and it looks a little more modern.
Shame.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna ask, like, is it worth getting the box set now, or should I wait?
I think it's worth it.
Sadly, for the price, I can't recommend the Steelbook unless you're a huge fan and you really want it just for the art. I think that the $89 to $100 you're going to spend on the box that Greg has is going to suffice for most people, because you're losing a lot of the special features from the Blu-ray set. You're losing some features from the DVD set, and you're gaining only 2 new features that suck. They are some of the worst shit. And I had to go searching for them. I couldn't find them at first.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, and when I did find them on the New Nightmare disc after it was brought up to me by a listener or somebody on X, whichever one it was, I finally found them. It's 2 little 7-minute fucking segments, and nothing on them is anything you haven't heard before. And none of it is anything really that interesting, really. It's just a waste of fucking time. I was so disappointed. Like, this was your chance to do the penultimate Nightmare box set.
Yeah.
This should have its own disc, just chock full of special features. I alone have a bunch of shit out there. And I mean, I think I even had CHH ask that Warner Brothers guy about that one documentary, and I didn't even know it until he brought it up that was owned and created by a completely different company.
Yeah,
I thought it was
Never Sleep
created in
Again.
tandem with them. Yeah, no, not that one. The other one that
Oh.
came out with part 4. That
Oh,
I
yeah,
was kind of
yeah,
weird.
yeah,
Like, how was
yeah.
it not? Because I remember you used to be able to buy it with those two movies together. Like you
Mhm.
had like a 2-pack thing where it came with Nightmare 4 and then the making of Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Which is actually Nightmare on Elm Street 4 more so, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like a 45-minute documentary, and it has like almost all that footage you ever see of Robert Englund getting his makeup put on is taken from that documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Because they show you the whole process in that documentary. It's got a ton of behind-the-scenes shit from part 4. They even show you how they do the bug scene. All that shit's in there. So it's like, I don't even know how it couldn't be officially sanctioned, but I guess it wasn't at the time. It just was a documentary that was made. It feels like an EPK documentary. That's why I'm like, how is it not?
Yeah.
And then plus he did a whole shit ton of stuff Robert has done in makeup and other things and appearances that I can't believe aren't on here, because they did have some of the MTV stuff on the old DVD stuff, but I don't think that ever got carried over to the Blu-ray. And that's the other thing is, even the first film, they still haven't carried over all the shit that was on the Elite Laserdisc that we mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a ton of stuff that was on there.
Yeah.
Outtakes and some deleted scenes, and even like Robert Englund doing the voice lines for Freddy, where they were testing they even had the old screenplay and a bunch of other shit that's not on these. And it's like, what the fuck, guys? Like, come on, this should be there.
That's the excuse me, that's like the biggest problem with this box set is, yeah, some of the scans aren't the greatest, but they're still probably better looking than the Blu-ray. This Blu-ray set.
Oh yeah, these are the best the movies have ever
better
looked.
than these.
Let's
better
be
looking
real.
than these.
These are on par with the Elite transfers for Laserdisc back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie about that. I'm not going to sit here and say that they don't look better than the movies have ever looked in the past.
They look better. There might be a little scrubbing here and there. There might be a little, make it look a little modern on one or two of them.
5 is the one that bothers me the most because of the new color timing on it. It does change the look of the film. But it's not going to be a deal breaker because 5 isn't one that I give that shit much of a shit about. Same thing with 2.
Yeah, 5 is one of the
one that hurts me the most is New Nightmare. I was looking forward to that one looking gorgeous,
that
and it
sucks,
turned out to be a bit of a
that's one of my favorites.
Mixed bag, yeah.
That's what I did.
That's my third favorite.
The highlights are the Dolby Atmos remixes. These fucking Dolby Atmos remixes are fucking amazing.
They sound incredible.
They sound great.
They do. They sound great. But that's like I was saying, like the biggest problem with the box set is the special features and the lack of. That's the biggest problem. But like the sound, the picture quality are better than the Blu-ray. Because this Blu-ray set, I know a lot of people like this and everything is great, whatever. But let me show you something here. These scans are not the greatest, and like they put 2 and 3 on one disc, 4 and 5 on one disc. These are all on their own disc. They're all separated, and they're all given that attention to. So
there was also some misalignment in the framing on the Blu-ray set too, I guess.
Yes, I remember hearing that as well. So like, the 4K is definitely worth it. I would say, as much as I would love the Steelbook and everything set, which from what I'm hearing, they're not going to make anymore. It's just too much money for me. The standard set is just fine. Sadly, it does sound like the red cases are no longer available.
At least for now. They might get more later. I don't know.
They're probably going to be scalped on eBay for outrageous amounts of money. So don't pay those prices.
That's my problem with that shit.
Those prices. Yeah.
The Nightmare box sets are already going for like $400 or $500. Unfortunately, the Steelbook ones.
I bet.
But people have been saying you can still get your hands on the UK set, which is damn near the same thing. I think the only difference between them is that the UK set comes with Blu-rays and the bonus disc that the Blu-ray set used to have.
Yeah.
And the only other difference, I think, is the inside of, what is it, Nightmare 2? Because of they wouldn't allow them to have the artwork or whatever in the one, so they had to switch it out. I think it was 2. Was it 2 or 5? One of them, I can't remember which, but yeah.
Yeah. Don't you have this VHS, Tom? The Media Archive Mike's talking about?
I do, but not all of it was ported over.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, I have the 2 tape set, which has all the video stuff to it, but it doesn't have any of the still or the screenplay or any of that kind of stuff. So all that stuff's missing. But otherwise, I think it has, and of course, it doesn't have the commentary.
Right.
But that's been carried over. See, I think that commentary has been carried over, I think, even on the DVD back in the day through this release here. So that's something, that's the one thing that's weird. It's like, okay, so you paid them guys for that commentary, but you own the rest of the shit. Why are you having problems? But it's there for you.
Exactly.
It's like, and I have a friend of mine, a former friend of mine, I should say, sent me a rip of that laser disc years ago, and I have it on a disc somewhere I can't find.
Right.
And I had it up against, like, I had made a digital copy of my tape as well, and that's when I first realized that there is more shit on the laser disc. So yeah, like there's some things that just never made it. It's sad. A lot of it did finally make it over, like the alternate endings and some of the deleted scenes. I think even some of the deleted dream sequence made its way onto the Blu-ray, but they don't have the storyboards and shit like that for it, so you have no frame of reference or context for what it is.
Yeah, I do wish they would make it a little more comprehensive. Speaking of like Benedict, the Friday the 13th Ship Factory set is going out of print finally, so it's going to be gone.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. So I wouldn't honestly, it would not surprise me if Paramount releases a 4K box set of the first 8 movies, maybe next year or sometime. I think there's like 2 Friday the 13th coming up in 2020.
Well, all they really got to scan is the last 3 because they've got 4K scans already. But it'd be nice if they'd fix the first film though on 4K.
Yes,
please and thank you if you're going to do this.
Yeah, it would not surprise me considering that's going out of print. But that's what I'm saying is like they have that special, just a extra set of special features in that disc. I wish they would have did for Freddy. I wish they would have did that for the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, they did in the Blu-ray set. That's what disappoints me. Even though
Blu-ray set.
So keep.
And
the
I think
Blu-ray.
part of the reason, from what my understanding is, because of those fucking episodes of Freddy's Nightmares, which they could have just reissued it without those and put the new and made more comprehensive new stuff. Like that's the disappointing part is those 2 7-minute documentaries. It's like you got all these people together and you're doing interviews, but this is all you got it squeezed out of it was 7 fucking minutes a piece of these two little topics.
It's so crazy.
You watched them, right?
Yeah.
They're
no,
fucking
actually, no, I
pointless.
didn't. No, I didn't watch them because you said they weren't on there, and then now I'm,
Yeah,
now,
if somebody found them, they're on there. They're on the new Nightmare disc. They're the 2 first features on the new Nightmare disc.
Yeah, I did not watch those because I
That's the other thing. They're buried clear in New Nightmare, so it's like,
I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
And I was going through each to that point, and I'm like, okay, so this is just a straight port over of whatever was carried over to the Blu-ray before.
Yeah.
Each Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But like, so you're missing like the House That Freddy Built documentary, which is actually a pretty good one. The Fear Himself and all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that was on the bonus disc is no longer here. So
yeah, that kind of sucks that they're no longer on there. And so yeah, like with the Blu-ray does have special features that aren't on the 4K, and that DVD set that Tom has a bunch of special features that were never ported over to the. So if
I don't
you
know if
have
I'd say
those,
it's a bunch, but it is like a lot of little Easter egg.
Yeah, a bunch of little things there. Yeah. So, but yeah, I remember that was like super pumped for that set and everything. I'm excited to have these in 4K. Like for the most part, I thought I was impressed. I did put out that tweet. I was impressed with the scan. Do they have problems? Yes. What really got me though, because like I know everybody usually says this. I guess when we did the Nightmare on Elm Street on your show, Tom, I was wrong. I always assumed it, but like 1, 3, and New Nightmare are my all-time favorites. I would probably say 3 is my all-time favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And so when I got the 4Ks, I watched the Nancy trilogy, is what it's called first, because that's just what I wanted to watch before I got into 4, 5, and Freddy's Dead and all that. And I was very disappointed after I got done because I really thought part 3 looked pretty darn good. There was maybe a few problems here and there with it. The film it was filmed on, is not the best. And part 1 we've talked about before. There's just a few like, stuff there that they did that. And then when I got into New Nightmare, I was like, this looks like a new. I know that to some people that may not be like, oh, that looks like a new movie. Cool. So, they're used to that. But like when you're used to seeing like film grain and movies on film and a Wes Craven movie that was filmed in the 90s like that should look like film. It shouldn't look polished like that. I was very upset. So that was probably my biggest gripe about it. And then You know, I liked 4. I thought 4 was good. I liked the uncut version of 5, and 5 is not even great. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch part 2. I skimmed through part 2 because I know I think you like it, Tom. I know you like it, and I know Six, if she's out the chat, likes it and everything. But I just don't like the movie. I just don't, and it has nothing to do with the gay stuff. That doesn't bother me. It's the like, it just doesn't feel like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I don't. The rules are like broken. It makes no sense. It feels like a haunted house movie. I did watch the best scene in the movie is where the pool party scene where you're all my children. It's sad because it is like one of the most scariest versions, if not the scariest version of Freddy that that you get in the movies. But the movie, I can't bring myself to rewatch it over and over like I can some of the other movies. So that was my biggest thing. I just did not go through part 2 as like I did the other movies, and I also did watch. No, it's really not because I really don't care. It actually if I'll be honest with you, that actually gives the movie a one upper on some of the stuff because it's you it's just very much mind play because like even Robert Englund said like I knew Jesse was gay, so and that does play into like stuff with each movie is like he plays on their fears, so like he knew this kid was gay, so it's just the whole body possession thing and him Freddy trying to come into the real world and all that, and that doesn't get me. But I did also end up watching Freddy versus Jason to cap it all off, so I did watch Freddy versus Jason as well.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah, it is a fun one. And what I really go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I agree with you on 2. Like, it's well, it's not that I don't like it. I just think it's kind of like it's just very weak compared to the others. It's that one, and I know you guys like Freddy's Dead, but I really don't like that one.
I like Freddy's Dead.
I know you do. I know you do, and that's fine. I just don't like it personally. That and 2 are like ones I don't plan on like rewatching all that much. Like all the other ones.
Freddy's Dead is the best game of them all. So
which sucks for me to hear, but fucking yeah, it sucks to hear that looked better than New Nightmare because I love New Nightmare.
Yeah, the worst things about Freddy's Dead is like I think me and Tom have talked about it is the backstory they give Freddy with the daughter and everything like that.
See that ruins most of the movie for me personally.
It's cool to see Alice Cooper as his dad and everything and learning a little bit about that. But when you give him the daughter instead, the only reason he was killing all the people, the kids in Springwood was to save his daughter, which is bullshit because he was killing them well before his daughter was taken away from him. So yeah, that gets a little convoluted, and that's probably the biggest, weakest parts of the movie. But like, I love the Twin Peaks aspects to it, especially since I've been rewatching Twin Peaks, which I haven't done in a while, but I need to get back to it. But especially since I've been watching Twin Peaks, I do like Freddy in the movie. I like the way he's presented. He's a little more comedic. It does have one of Robert Englund's favorite all-time kills with the kid with the hearing aid, Carlos. You know, so that's one of his favorite kills because he said it. Which I find that a little weird because he says it shows that Freddy doesn't care who or what you are, he will kill you. When he literally kills a kid in a wheelchair in part 3.
So you're saying that I should, after I watch Twin Peaks, all of it, I should give Freddy's Dead a rewatch?
Maybe you should. It has a lot of that to it.
Maybe because I mean the idea of a David Lynchian type of nightmare.
That's what they were trying to go for a little bit. So.
Yeah, I could see that. That sounds cool, but at the same time, it's like I'd rather just have David Lynch do that movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, a David Lynch Nightmare on Elm Street movie would have been. You get Wes Craven to produce. That would have been a freaking incredible movie.
No, that would have been incredible. I'm like thinking about it right now. I'm like, man, like just the possibilities. I know he wouldn't have done it, but.
No, you wouldn't have, but it would have been incredible.
I mean, he turned down Return of the Jedi for fuck's sake. And that whole story.
Did you hear that story? That's a great story. But we're talking Freddy.
Story.
Let's not deviate. Let's talk.
I know. I was gonna say I love that story too, but yes, I'm very aware.
Yes, but no, I think the 4K set is worth it. I wouldn't, go for the steelbook personally.
No,
I'd probably go for the.
I'm gonna probably get the set you're getting, and because I do have the Blu-ray set.
Well,
but
at least this time out, Warner Brothers didn't fuck up and like they did with the Rocky set, and they put the bonus disc in the shittier set, and anybody who bought the steelbooks didn't get the bonus stuff, which I thought was kind of a miss. So
yeah.
Roseanne and Tom Arnold.
Yeah, that is probably the weirdest scene in the movie. So,
They bring him.
which that's what I would admit to, because I showed this as well. I did watch Freddy vs. Jason.
That was also because Rachel wanted to get as many cameos as she could.
Yeah.
In
But
the movie, so
when I was watching Freddy vs. Jason, and I don't know why I've never thought about all this stuff before, but some of the stuff in that movie, I have a little more respect for it now after going through the Nightmare on Elm Street movies before, because I always thought Freddy was a little underdone in that movie. But I think that after rewatching all the Freddy movies and then watching that, they really understood. Whoever wrote it really understood Freddy, even though he doesn't get much in the ways of kills, because they really did nail the fact that like this whole town now, Springwood, has come back to where like even works with Freddy's Dead. It's like they've made everybody forget Freddy. The kids that they needed to lock away in Weston Hills are locked away in Weston Hills on Hypnosil, right? And Freddy's been trying to get back, and he can't come back unless nobody remembers him. And I'm thinking, you know what? That's actually pretty accurate, because once you start watching like from part 3 onwards and how the story continues, is like after they defeat him in part 3, and then it starts in part 4, and Kincaid and Joey tell is it Kristen? Kristen's her name, right? They tell her, did it ever occur to you that if you keep poking around in his boiler room and stuff, you'll bring Freddy back? And they're the last 3 that know about Freddy at this point, because they're the last of the Elm Street kids. And so that's kind of like, they keep poking around and it brings him back. And then same in part 5. The kid, the unborn child, is sort of bringing him back through that way, because the kid, doesn't know not to think about him and everything is in her stomach. And then when you get to, Freddy's Dead, there's no kids left in town. The town's very much Twin Peaks.
I'm convinced now after watching this time that was probably meant to be Jacob.
I'm
almost convinced that you might as well in your head canon say it is, because he pulls people into his dreams.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I'm thinking to myself too, watching it. And also I think he kind of looks like Runner.
Who does?
The kid in Freddy's Dead, the one who thinks he's Freddy's son.
John. Yeah.
John, yeah. I would almost be convinced he is Jacob, which means that Alice sadly either bit the dust or something else, that he got her to.
I'm thinking so, yeah.
Yeah. Which
he doesn't need Alice anymore once Jacob's around. So that's the whole point, right?
And he got rid of Nancy, so you could see Alice. It's just a shame that we did not see one more adventure with Alice, just to see.
We almost did. I mean, there was plenty of scripts written. I mean, I think even Jacob and Alice were in the Dream Lover. I'd have to find. I've been looking for the script, but if it's even out there anywhere. But for those who don't know what Dream Lover is, that was the Peter Jackson Nightmare 6 or 5, Nightmare 6 that didn't happen because of Freddy's Dead.
Yeah.
But it's I think he was meant to be in that one. Otherwise, I do know he was in other scripts, and I think they even showed up in one version of Freddy's Dead. Or not Freddy's Dead, Freddy vs. Jason, I mean. So it's just sad they never revisited those characters again.
It is sad too, because when I was watching Freddy vs. Jason after watching all of them, I was like, you know what? I have a little more respect for it now after watching all those, and a little more respect for what they've done to Freddy, because it does seem like they really did get Freddy.
Did a good job of calling back to Weston Hills, and
they really got it. And you know what would have made that better? Because I'm also watching and I'm thinking her dad, the doctor who works at Western Hills, that could have been the guy from part 3. Because he could be running the Weston Hills now, because essentially her dad's running Weston Hills, and then he's got all the kids on Hypnosil. That could have been the doctor from part 3. And
except he got fired, but
but maybe like when you get to
could have
dad,
been it almost, and it could have worked in one of those ways where he only means well, but then it's come to the point where now he's the older doctor, where it's like, he means well, but he's actually hurting the kids more so with the
I
hypnosil
think they could have
probably,
worked
but like, yeah.
worked that way, especially since like if Freddy's dead, like the town has gone crazy and there's no kids left. And
Right.
yeah, maybe he got fired, but maybe they brought him back to help save the town. And the town's plan is
Well,
to
not
make
only that,
everybody forget about Freddy, so that way he can't come back.
well, whatever kids are left are out in Weston Hills. So yeah,
Exactly,
like,
and they're on Hypnocil.
yeah,
So like I
yeah.
could have seen that being him, and
Could have
also
been.
it would have been kind of cool to see Lawrence. I know they would have never got him back, but Lawrence Fishburne, like because they have a black guy running Western Hills, that could have been Lawrence Fishburne.
That would have made more sense, probably.
Yeah, because like the doctor's prescribing him. He's not like really there all the time, but he's like prescribing them. But then they have the black guy that's giving them the pills and wearing a suit and telling the kids that I'll give
Was
you
it
this.
a red
and
and blue pill?
It's the Hypnosil pill. It's just a blue pill. So, I
Yeah,
know
he's
he
taking a
so he
morphine.
chose the
yeah,
blue
Morpheus
pill.
thing,
Morpheus,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it would have been
And it would have
that
been
could have been
kinda
a
cool,
great
yeah.
nod to it. Yeah. So I'm seeing is like I'm seeing watching. I'm thinking, man, there were so many missed opportunities for Freddy vs. Jason because they got so much right about Freddy. Not so much right about Jason because it is the worst Jason. And I'm also thinking like the cornfield scene, which is really cool, and it's one of the great fire stunts. And Kane Hodder loves fire stunts, and it would have been so cool to see Kane Hodder do that cornfield scene on fire.
Well, we know who to blame, really.
Yeah, we know who to blame, but it would have been so cool to see him on fire doing that cornfield scene.
In fact, I think it was us in our interview with Robert Shea was one of the first times he actually confirmed that it really was Ronnie Yu who decided not to go with Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
And the studio just backed Ronnie's play on that. They're just like, whatever he wants, give it to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I know I talked a little bit more about that because that was the last one I watched. But after watching all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I was like, it was like, oh yeah, they really did get Freddy for this movie. But no, as far as this goes, I love this set. I think I personally think 3 is my favorite. I like 1, 3, New Nightmare Part 4, and Freddy's Dead, and 5 is good. I'm not a big fan of 2, but I'm glad to have it. The remake is dog crap. Freddy vs. Jason is good, which I would assume we'll probably get a 4K Freddy vs. Jason from Arrow.
Ah, man, I could see that.
Because they
I might
did
get that.
Jason Goes to Hell. They did Jason
Jason
X. They did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remakes. They did. So I would assume Freddy vs. Jason will probably come from 4K from Arrow.
I was
And
gonna say 'cause that's a new line, right?
Yeah, that's a new line.
Yeah,
thing.
they've been doing a ton of new line stuff. Arrow.
Yeah, and you might even get some better new special features on that than you did on this box set. So have a great night, John the Beagle Dad. Thanks for hanging with us. But Tom, I know I've been talking for a while there. If there's anything you want to talk about the movie, I know we talked about
I covered a lot of it already.
Like,
I mean,
if you want to talk about the movies, what's your favorites? What did you like?
we've covered these movies before, so and I've covered a lot of the technical aspects. I'm a lot like you. I love 1, 3, and New Nightmare as far as the definitive trilogy. But
Me
also,
too.
it's nice to have the 3, 4, and 5 trilogy built in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great how pretty much all of it works within continuity, except for, I guess, 2 in a way. But Freddy's Dead is also kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, despite it having some obvious flaws and issues with it. I think the daughter storyline is a bit convoluted in some ways, but I guess even now it still holds up kind of cool, or it still holds up and it's still kind of cool as for what it was. The 3D ending is, honestly, I'm curious if I'll even continue to watch it in the 3D ending, although this is the best it's ever looked.
I watched it in 3D.
Yeah, it's the best it's ever looked, but I switched over to check out the non-3D ending, and at least the non-3D part comes from the negative. So it actually looks better than the 3D ending, which is obviously processed. So yeah, it looks better than it ever has before, but it's a little lackluster considering it's blue and green 3D. It's not the best.
It's the first time I've watched it in 3D since probably the theater.
Really? Yeah.
So I just tried on the glasses and watched.
It barely worked in the theater too.
It
so,
barely.
Yeah.
Some of the there's certain standouts to it, but most of the time it doesn't.
Like the Dream Demons always look good, but those are like CG elements. Like those are one of the first early CG stuff in a movie, and then you had, some of the effects worked out pretty good, but some of the scenes just didn't. And some of the scenes you're just kind of wondering, why is this even in the 3D aspect? Because there was other bits in the movie where I'm like, why didn't they have other parts of this movie in 3D? Like when Spencer trips out on the TV scene with Inagata Devita. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Like there's so many other bits and pieces where you're watching the movie going like, was this movie initially designed from the ground up to be an entire 3D movie and then just opted to do the last 15 minutes or what, because it feels like it was written as a 3D movie from beginning to end in some ways.
Yeah. And Rachel, because I did watch some of that. Well, I've seen it before because it's on the Blu-ray. But like she was talking about how she was straddled with the 3D because they wanted it 3D or whatever. And then John Carl Buechler, whatever his name is, said she had
Buechler, yeah.
Sorry, I always mispronounce.
Actually, I asked Gary that one of the first times I talked to him, like 7-8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you know, or are you related to him at all? And he's like, he's a distant cousin, but he's like, you must really know your shit because that's how we actually pronounce it. He goes, everybody always mispronounces my name.
Yeah.
And he goes, because I actually got it right. He's, yeah, because I've seen John Carl in so many fucking, behind the scenes stuff. So I've heard him actually pronounce his name. He's like, wow, that's impressive. So yeah, that's why I remembered that. But yeah, so yeah, sadly we lost him a couple of years back. But yeah.
He's in the Hatchet movies, by the way. He's pretty good. He makes an appearance in that. Did some of the work on those. But no, he was talking about how Rachel had this camera where she had bungee cords to shoot the whole ending of the film in 3D, the 3D camera. She put bungee cords on the ends of it, and so she could move it around real easy through the set. And he said that made it very difficult to do the special effects and the gags because then you couldn't have wires showing, you couldn't have stuff here this way because the way she moved the camera. So it made it very difficult to for them because within the camera to get it all in the camera. So, the 3D was never really going to work in the end through all that stuff. So, but yeah, I don't hate Freddy's Dead. I know it's not considered one of the best. I know that. And like I said, the daughter stuff I think is stupid, but I think it's a fun movie to watch.
I mean, you kind of have to compromise that he's lying to her about some things, and it also doesn't really like the whole idea of him. He clearly has to be lying about his motive to go after the parents because they took his kid, because he was already killing kids before that.
Exactly.
And it shows it in the film. So it's either a muck up of some kind or it's just Freddy lying. I guess I really don't know how to compromise that, and to give him his own kid. I mean, at that point, it didn't really ruin the series, but it kind of added a layer to it that it was like you went one step a little too far. And this is where, like, I've always maintained that Freddy is one of the better, like, you're best not giving us a bunch of shit about the monster, right? Like, most people will probably agree that as much as we love the Halloween franchise, once they made it all about the brother-sister family thing, it kind of...
Thorn.
Yeah, it kind of really put itself in a corner no matter what it did. And that's where I feel like one of the biggest failings, as we've talked about many a time with the new Halloween trilogy we did get, was like, yeah, so you went to the trouble of not making them brother-sister for what reason? You still made it all about Laurie.
Yeah.
It's like, it should have been at that point, it should have been just not about Laurie anymore, and she should have been de facto the Loomis character, since you don't have Loomis anymore. That being said, I mean, with this, you've had already 2 films where you've pretty much added things to the mythos, or at least one for sure that you've added to the mythos of Freddy, and it was created by the original creator, so a lot of fans have accepted that. But the fact of making him the product of this nurse, or not nurse, sorry, nun that was locked in over the holiday and assaulted hundreds of times by these inmates, and he's the result of this, just adds an extra layer of
nastiness to
him, right? Like, it does. It's like he's even conceived in the most horrible, wretched way. Yeah. Right? It's not that he's just like, no, it's bad enough that he could have been like a date grape result. No. They have to go to the extreme with him. And that's what Freddy always was the extreme. Right? And that's what Wes said. He tried to think of the most vile, horrible human being he could. And what if this human being got... And that's one thing I do like about Freddy's Dead, is it shows you kind of the concept that I always kind of had in the back of my head. And that was, if a devil created a creature like this, wouldn't he want to send him back in some way, shape, or form? He's like, your work is not done. Right? I mean, so the dream demons play that role, right? Like, they bring him back to do this thing. And it's partially a bit of a moralistic 2 wrongs don't make a right kind of thing at the same time. But it also gives you that ultimate, does it really even matter when it's the worst of the worst? Yeah. Right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it asks you that question. It makes you face that dilemma. Is like, is there anything that's that irredeemable that death is justified?
Exactly.
And how it's carried out, is that more important than the death itself, right? Like,
Yeah.
and Freddy is kind of the, I don't know how to put it, but he's almost like the lesson that's taught that two wrongs don't make a right, no matter what it is,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how vile and disgusting of a creature he is.
Yeah.
You know, these people did not have the right to do what they did, and because of this, he got this loophole given to him, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of a strange, twisted tale that, I mean, only somebody like Wes Craven could have come up with, and what he did, it's kind of why I love New Nightmare, because, and I've said this before, because when Freddy came out, like, I mean, I was alive when he came out. Like, I don't remember a time before Freddy, but I was alive before Freddy.
Yeah.
But Freddy, when he came on the scene, like when she says Freddy's like Santa Claus in New Nightmare, she's not wrong.
Yep.
Like every
Everybody
kid
knew.
knew who Freddy Krueger
Yep.
was.
Yep.
It was like he always existed.
He's always been there. Yeah.
And that's what I love about New Nightmare, was like he was just this ancient evil that just decided that this was his new form, right? Like, or that's
Yes.
the form he wanted to attach to, or whatever it is.
That,
But like, yeah,
that scene is so good with Wes Craven, where he describes about how every once in a while a story comes along that captures something, and the Freddy captured this ancient demon and held it captive in these movies, and it got so used to being Freddy, it wants to be Freddy in the real world. And now that the movies are over, it's trying to break through. I love that, the way he, and like, he sells it too as you're watching it, and like you feel so sympathetic for him as well, the way he describes it.
and as much as I love New Nightmare, I actually don't have a problem with the funnier Freddy, because, and this is where I've always found it justified, is that it's not so much that Freddy's being funny and less scary. It's the fact that he's relishing what he's doing. He loves this. This is his ultimate high. He gets off on this in every way, shape, and form, right? Like, this is, and he loves to torment these kids with their biggest, deepest, darkest secrets. And that's where 2 still does work, even on it.
That's what I said. That's what works on it, because, like, according to Robert, he knew Jesse was gay, so he used that in his performance. Whereas maybe not everybody else knew that they were supposed to be that way, but he used that in his performance, in the way he agitated him and he picked at him, and when he was doing the dreams and trying to possess him, and how close he got to him. So, like, he's still preying on his fears in that, which is one thing that does work and carries on into, outside of everything else in the movies, that does carry on into every one of the movies. So, yeah.
So that's why I never had a problem with the more quote unquote jokey or primetime Freddy, because to me, that's just him. Yeah, he would be both at times. He could be both.
Yeah.
Like, it just depends on how he wants to torment you. He could be anything and everything. And what's weird is, even watching this movie in the 4K, and this is, I guess, a testament to how good these movies look, I noticed things I've never noticed before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never even noticed that Rod, the blanket that he pulls up out over himself after he says, "Good, no more nightmares for either one of us anymore."
Yeah.
I never noticed that the blanket he pulls up over him is fucking red and green striped.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that too. I never
once in the million times I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other little things here and there throughout the movies too that I noticed like that I'm just like, damn, I never noticed that before.
Yeah. And what I was like, what I liked is like, when people talk about the jokey or Freddy, that they don't like that. What do you find scary here, right? You're having a nightmare, right? And it's the guy is invading your dreams, that not only you, but like a group of people are constantly dreaming about this people, and you know it and they know it, and you have this extreme fear that he's using against you, and why he's doing that, and you're scared out of your mind. He's cracking jokes, and that makes it even more scary, because there's no reasoning with somebody who's cracking jokes about what you fear about. Right?
No, there's nothing you're going to be able to reason with this guy. Exactly.
So, like, that makes it scary. To me, that makes it scarier, right? Because if he's willing to say, "Oh, you wanted to be on TV, I'm going to put you on TV. Welcome to primetime, bitch, and you're not going to be able to talk me out of this." And
I mean,
like,
even when he's breaking the fourth wall. I mean,
know?
Freddy's dead. I mean, even though people don't like that movie, it has 2 of the most famous deaths in it that people enjoy, right? Mm-hmm. Spencer and Carlos, right?
Yep.
And I mean, Carlos, he is having That is some of the most devious shit
I know
that he
that's what I
does to
said.
any of his victims.
It's his favorite kill in all the Freddy movies. Robert Englund has said that's his favorite.
And I can
kill.
see why. It is the most meanest shit he could pull on any of these kids. Like, this kid already had it rough enough, you can tell. And then he just fucking torments him more and more and more with the one thing he has, a fucking handicap.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane.
It's almost on par with what he does to the Wizard Master, because that kid's in a fucking
That's
wheelchair,
what I was-
right?
Yeah,
Like,
he's in a wheelchair too.
yeah, it's like he don't give a fuck. He's
Yeah.
gonna exploit that, and that's what makes you, like you just said, it makes him worse. There's gonna be no compromise with this guy.
Nope, you can't reason with him.
None.
You're not
Zero.
gonna be able to talk him out of it. and
Welcome
he's
to
gonna-
prime time, bitch.
Yeah, and he's
Like-
going to make fun of you. I mean, like,
Exactly.
and these are, you got to also realize these, even though they're being played like 30-year-olds or 20-year-olds or whatever, these kids are
Yeah.
supposed to be teenagers. So
Right.
being bullied and humiliated is something that preys on your mind growing up as a teenager in school
Yes.
and everything. And there's no reasoning with this bully. So
Well,
you're fucked.
And it makes sense with Freddy's past, because he was obviously bullied himself.
Exactly,
So
yep. Son of a
he's
hundred
become the
maniac.
ultimate bully now. He's taking it out on everybody else, and that also makes him this great villain. And there's nothing wrong with relishing that. Like, and that's what makes Robert so great in the role. And how, I hate to give him credit, but Jackie came close, is that he probably got that you have to be able to kind of turn that humanity off and get into this. And I think that because of him doing, Rorschach, and that being such a complicated character, that led him to being able to do Freddy, but he did it with such a shitty fucking script. Now, if you
Yeah.
give this guy a good script to work with,
And better
that
makeup.
Nightmare remake had a chance. And the
Mhm.
reason it had a chance is because they actually said, now, wait a minute. What if, because this is, and it had precedence for this, because the actual case that kind of changed the whole trajectory of Freddy, because Freddy was supposed to be a more of a diddler
Mhm.
initially, but they really backed off on a lot of that stuff, because at the time there was this big, huge controversy with this daycare center that it turned out all these kids lied.
Mhm.
And they clearly drew inspiration from that for this remake. But then when you get to that third act, then it's like, no, Freddy is exactly what you think he is. And then the third act just turns into a straight up crappy remake of the first film. You're like, you just wasted an hour of our time for no good fucking reason.
Yeah. And I did think
And
that would have helped the remake if it was.
I think
Freddy
it would
was
have to made
innocent.
Freddy this innocent, to where these kids all lied on his ass. And then as us as the audience, we get to go, yeah, go get those little fuckers. you know?
But I do also like your thing is like how you describe him as the devil's favorite demon or whatever that allows him, because I think
His favorite creation,
his
yeah.
favorite creation, because like the way you say that, and I believe that too, is like because yeah, as the town people forget him and instead everything, it's like not like Freddy's being tortured in hell. Right, he's not being tortured. He's not being whatever. He's like in
No.
Freddy vs. Jason. He goes, "I've searched the bowels of hell for somebody to help them remember me." So that leads you to believe that like the devil is like, "Go ahead, the hell."
Yeah, it just lets him walk around like he's
yeah,
at home.
just
Yeah.
go. Yeah, this is hell's your home.
Oh,
If you
you're
need
back?
somebody to help
Shit.
you. Yeah, you're back. They defeated you. Go find something. You go on. You'll get back up there.
Holy water again?
So,
No.
it's like, oh, now they're forgetting you.
Now they're
there's
just
this dude-
forgetting me.
There's
Yeah.
a dude with a hockey mask right over in Sector 3 of hell. So
Let me tell you about this one kid. His name's Jason.
Yeah. So he has mommy issues. I think you'll help very well if you go in there as his mom in his mind.
Yeah.
So like that's what I feel like. Is like Freddy is like as comfortable in hell as he is in people's dreams. Because
Yeah, I agree with you there.
So that's what I was feeling in that. Yeah, that's
Well,
my
and-
brother.
It just makes more sense. But again, like even if you did it the other way around with him being innocent, if you made him a simpleton and he's framed for this crime that he never committed, because it never even made sense as to why he had the claws
Yeah.
in that remake. Because you're like, oh, so he didn't kill anybody. He just molested these kids. So what did he have the claws for? To leave evidence? It could have just been that you played it off that, like, however the parents killed him, instead of burning him, like they all stabbed him with pitchforks or something. You know what I mean? Like you could have just
Yeah.
played off. There's a million different ways you could have done this that it would have been I think a remake that would have been made people go, huh, you kind of took what was, and you could even have done another interesting twist on it too. Like you could have changed it up to where, like, I always thought it'd been an interesting story of like, what if a generation of the kids turned around and made a deal with Freddy that Freddy would leave him alone as long as they promised them their firstborn.
Oh yeah,
Without
like kind
thinking
of
about it as a teenager, right?
Yeah, that could have been interesting.
And it could almost be like this kind of like, I mean, it would have been a better version of the Dream Child in a way, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of
I
a Rip
mean,
Van Winkle kind of thing. Or
yeah,
not Rip Van Winkle, but Rumpelstiltskin, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
Rumpelstiltskin type thing. Yeah, I do wish we could get the TV series on Blu-ray eventually, but there is a great video on Midnight's Edge about possible rights issues why we can't. So, just so you know. But no, yeah, you're right. That could have been an interesting remake. You know, that would have been good.
Well, that's two completely different angles you could have went with it.
Yeah.
Because Freddy lends himself to that. Jason's simple.
Mm-hmm.
Michael's simple.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I don't get about those guys. It's like, how are you having such a hard time with these?
That's what I'm saying. Is like you mentioned earlier. Is like the more they explained about Freddy outside of the daughter thing, the worse it made him. It's like no, oh no, right? It's like gross, and it made him more scarier stuff. And Jason is simple, like you said. It's just he's a mama's boy. He wants to kill for his mama. That's all you really need to know. And then they over-explained Michael Myers way too much when it was explained pretty well in the first movie, where it's like Michael Myers is the dirty little secret of this small town, and the parents hide it and don't want to acknowledge it. He's this evil that has come to this town to claim these kids, and the adults, because like all the adults are like all hidden in the movie, and like it's like the adults just like snub their noses at it because they don't want nothing to do with it, and he's coming, he's taking their kids because he's this evil little secret they don't want to admit to. So that's all you really need to know.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the other thing with the remake is the parents are almost non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the thing. It's like there's so many ways you could have tackled this that opens the door to a different way of telling this story. Kind of like they've done with Dracula and Frankenstein over the years, taking a little different angle to it. Right? You know, they've even made Dracula a bit more of a tragic character. Yeah. You can do that with Freddy. And I don't think it would hurt the character. In fact, I think people would probably gravitate to it a little bit more because it's not the same Freddy, right? Like that's, I think, the biggest hurdle you got to get over is people going, okay, this is not Robert Englund. You know, well, guess what? Eventually somebody else did play Frankenstein, not Boris Karloff the entire time, right? You know what I mean? Like, and people did eventually accept it. And I think these characters, Chucky, all of them, you know, Michael Myers, Jason, they all lend themselves to the same, you know, kind of,
they
can live on
monsters.
Forever. Yeah, well, they can live on forever. They're a new generation of those kind of monsters. Sure, we've got some others that have come since then, but I don't think they nearly live up to the hype or the level of iconography that, you know, Freddy and Jason and Chucky and Michael Myers and Leatherface do as they stand up next to, like, you know, Frankenstein and Dracula and the Wolfman and you know, Gillman and whatnot. Like, even, like, the Saw guy and whoever else that's come out in the last 10, 15, 20 years, they don't even come close. They don't even come close.
I think Art the Clown is the closest they've came in a long time.
And even him, I feel like his popularity is somewhat waning because, I mean, I think you and I both agreed the third film was a huge disappointment in comparison to the last two. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes from here. But
because that second one really felt like it was the predecessor to Nightmare on Elm Street, and then the third one is just, you know.
I mean, I think Freddy is one that you can, I think, mess with, like whether you do, like I said, like the you know, it's the same story, but like the parents make them even more worse in the situation by like making this stupid deal with Freddy, or make him completely innocent and he was set up by these kids and maybe some other adult or something like that, whatever it is, like that, those things you can work with and play with, and it opens the door to a much broader storytelling than there was before. And the best part is you can say, well, it's not Robert Englund's Freddy. Yeah. Right. It's a little bit different. It's, you know, kind of like the difference between Christopher Lee's Dracula and, you know, Bela Lugosi's Dracula, or even, you know, Gary Oldman's Dracula compared to those two. You know, like, I mean, we could get there eventually to where I think Freddy could, of all of them, probably have the most to work with it as far as you can play with. Because I mean, even Chucky proved that you can't really deviate too far because otherwise you just get Megan.
Yeah, because that's what basically what they tried
That's
to
what
do
the
in
Child's Play
the
remake
Buddy.
is. Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so bad, and that design, it was so horrible. But yeah, and what like 12-year-old kid is going to want a Buddy doll like that? A Chucky
That's
doll like
exactly
that?
what I said. It makes no sense, but Megan
It
made more
does.
sense.
Yes, maybe because girls would go for something more like that than a.
Then they done fuck that up too. So
Yeah, they messed that one up.
If they're smart, they'll do Megan versus Chucky next and just disregard part 2 of Megan.
I know you don't like the director of the movie, but like the Black Phone, the sequel, looks like a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff. So, and it kind of looks good though. So
I haven't
I
even
don't
watched
like him. This motherfucker blocked me because he said something stupid about politics.
Yeah, I know.
And I
but-
said, "How's that Marvel gig going for you?" And he got all pissy with me.
Yeah, I know.
That's
But I am
funny.
looking forward to the actual because it looked kind of reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street, and I kind of want to see that.
You know,
see
I
what
don't-
they do with it.
I don't
And
think
it could end up like Megan though. It could end up like Megan.
I was gonna say I
2.0.
didn't end up watching the trailer because I'm like, you know what? The first one was good enough. I don't necessarily need a sequel. Plus, the recent streak that Blumhouse has been in, not just with bad
Oh,
movies, but even
God.
box office.
Didn't you see what just dropped from Blumhouse? He's
I
got
know.
his sights set on Jason and Freddy hardcore.
I know.
After
It's
Halloween,
so
I'm like,
bad.
no, stay
please-
the fuck
Oh,
away.
Yeah.
And
no.
I know you liked the Exorcist movie, but like nobody liked the Exorcist
I
either.
didn't like it, but I liked elements of it. Okay, let's be clear.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. You didn't like you liked where the story could have went.
I liked elements of it, but the part where it lost me was like, we need the fucking superpower planeteer team of the fucking. And not only that, we're going to totally treat Catholic religion like shit, even though they're the heroes of this franchise for 4 fucking movies now.
Yeah,
We need all the religions or something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
the movie fucking ends. We need all the religions, and then the priest goes like, "I can't help you though,
Coexist.
but you're a nun who had an abortion, who's been excommunicated from the church. You can do this."
Yeah, that's what I appreciated about Part 3, and especially with Wes Craven, because Wes Craven grew up very religious, and he did not see a horror movie till he got to college. You
Right.
know, so like I appreciate it,
I
even
believe
though
he
it
was
is
Mormon, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
it's very Mormon, I believe. But I appreciate it, even though it is very disgusting what happened. But I do appreciate that in Part 3 that like his mother, who's this nun who comes back to help save the day, like God is intervening in Part 3, because she tells him,
Well-
she's like, he's neither of God nor of man. He's an abomination that needs to be stopped. And
Yeah.
so like
Well,
I appreciated that.
You think that's bad? You should actually read the original story or screenplay or script or whatever it is that, because I've read it, that Wes and that other guy, Brad, whatever his name was, that wrote before Chuck Russell and Frank Darabont rewrote it.
Yeah.
Because 90% of what we love in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I hate to tell you guys this, it's
Comes
Chuck
from Chuck
Russell and
Russell.
Frank Darabont.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Nightmare on Elm Street 3 we almost got was one of the most vicious, vile, brutal, sadistic fucking movies you've ever fucking seen, probably. Like, Freddy is so mean and vile in the movie, in the original script, and just the way that the kids go out and the darkness that's in there in comparison to the more hopefulness that's kind of underbaked in it with the Dream Warriors is not there. And it's just, Freddy's just mean and vile. Like, of course he is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the reason Nightmare 3, I think, works so well with the audience is that this was the point where Robert's like winking at you going, yes, we know who I am. We know what I'm doing here. We know what I was before. But guess what? Just have fun, right? Like, that's kind of what it's saying, is just have fun. And we're going to show you some really cool shit. And that's where I think Nightmare 3 really resonated with people, because it was not just, because it really wasn't your standard slasher film. I think even Siskel and Ebert, I don't think they gave it thumbs up, but I think they did at least have to acknowledge
It's a pretty solid. It's like a pretty solid movie. And
that the third film was a strong story.
Strong-
It wasn't your typical slasher film, and it didn't just go out for the gore effects necessarily. It was more about and that's the one thing Nightmare always had going for it, was the fantasy and the characters and the lore. Right,
Yeah.
like all of it that went with it, that it almost kind of makes it more, and that's where Nancy and Freddy really kind of do have this dance,
yeah,
right?
the
And it
third
kind
one
of is
really-
passed on to,
yeah.
to Alice in a way too.
The
because-
house. Yeah.
Go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
No, I was thinking Kristen then Alice. So
Yeah,
No,
Kristen
no.
kind of gets jumped over in a way.
Yeah, because of she wouldn't
Because
come back
Heather's there, and then
Yeah.
Alice comes in the next one, and he
Yeah.
does. He kind of attaches himself to Alice even more so than he does Nancy.
Yeah, that's where you get like who do you like, Nancy or Alice, are the two that people talk about. So, but
And Alice, for her own, for what she is, she has her own, strengths and
yeah,
reasons you can root for her, and she does have that unique dream power and her ability to control her daydreams and dreams.
yeah,
And it does make her a unique foe for Freddy. And the fact that he doesn't want to kill her until, he has a reason to kill her or he can kill her because she is his avenue outside of Elm Street, right?
mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's, the thing that they did try to pay a lot of attention more to the lore and stuff after part 2 is something else you got to pay attention to, because there's never been in the history where most people don't realize part 2 made more money than the first film.
Yep.
And even though it made more money, the studio looked at it and said, yeah, we fucked up.
Yeah, because most people didn't like it. Yeah. So
I mean, at the time, here's the thing we were talking about the other night, because last night actually,
you was on
Toxic Tuesday.
Yeah.
I remember from memory at the time when it came out, nobody had a problem with it. I don't remember part 2 becoming less popular until the internet. Like, I think Mark Patton is right, until a lot of people got together and they started realizing you did your nightmare lists, and it just so happened that everybody would list part 2 and 5 at the bottom. And then everybody started asking why about part 2. And then I think it didn't help that sometime, I think in the late to mid 90s, probably right around the same time, I don't know if it was, I think it was prior to the DVD release, because they actually do mention it on the DVD release, to where this article about it being the premier gay horror film was written. And that kind of solidified it, right? Like that put it into the mainstream ethos, or however you want to put it, to where then it was the conversation to have. Like, we all kind of had it in the whispers in the background, because at first glance you watch the movie and it's just a straight up horror movie. You don't really pay much attention to the rest of it. And then as you watch it again, you're kind of starting to notice things. And then especially, it also depends on the age you see it, I think, the first time. Because what's weird is, I mean, all my adult cousins and relatives and friends that saw it at the time, I don't remember any of them bringing this shit up at that time. So I feel like it was more so like the generation that watched it, that was when it first came out, it was the younger kids that kind of started noticing, like, wait a minute here.
Like, why is that guy getting whipped in an ass?
Why are they at a gay bar?
Yeah,
And why is the teacher at a gay bar?
Yeah. Why is Jesse always running to his friend's house and not his girlfriend?
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many scenes when you look at it. It's not even like it's. We brought this up last night. It's like, okay, we've got tons of films, and I brought this up before, where, look, I will acknowledge that horror as a genre, especially the slasher genre, has always had an undertone of, overt sexuality and or psychosexuality, whatever you want to put it. Like, you can even bring up films like,
it's a big part of slasher films.
Big part of it.
Big part
like
of slashers.
So that's even going back to, like, Chucky. I wasn't even that. I didn't even have an issue with that until the second season, right? Where it finally got to the point where it's like, okay, now you're just making it woke on purpose. Before, you always had a queer element, and I had no problem with that, because there is kind of a queer element to things like, Sleepaway Camp and some other films, like even Silence of the Lambs at the height, of quote unquote
there's
horror.
a little bit of that in there. Yeah.
Oh God, yes. I mean, Buffalo
A
Bill,
lot,
flat
really,
out.
but
Yeah. He wants to be a fucking woman. I mean,
yeah.
so I mean, there has always
Part
kind
of
of
it.
been that element, but like, yeah, I mean, anyway, I don't remember exactly where I was going with all this shit, but
It was Nightmare 2. I just think
it just
overly overtly
it's
done.
it's right on the surface, right? You've got the teacher, where they talk about he's into this shit. He literally gets off on this shit. These are almost verbatim lines from the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And then not only that, you have Grady and fucking Mark Van Patten's character, I forget his name, Jesse, who are practically fucking through most of the movie, right? Like, I mean, at some point you're just waiting for one of them to go, I really could use you to use a dick sucking right now. You would like, it's just
the dance scene. The dance scene.
Well, the dance scene alone is. See, here's the thing with the dance scene. Here's the problem with that movie, and this is how I think. And this was my initial point. This is how I think that it got over everybody's gaydar at first. Because look, in the 80s, everything was like at least 25% gay. People don't understand this. Like
Dudes
everything
wore
was super
lipstick,
kind
hair,
of gay.
Poison. People thought Poison was,
Well,
so-
yeah, you had bands that were literally wearing more makeup than the chicks they were fucking.
yeah.
And not only that, they were raiding their wardrobe. I mean, come on, this was a time when it was a very straight guy could dress in long hair, makeup, eyeliner, fucking the whole 9 yards, lipstick and everything, and glitter. Like fucking glitter. The gayest shit in the world. I mean, even guys would just walk around with like porn stashes, and you couldn't tell if they were gay or not. Right? Like,
you Freddie Mercury? Nah, just like
you
the
Freddie
mustache.
Mercury gay, or are you just straight? Because like you, both straight and fucking gay guys looked just as buff and cool as the rest. You know what I mean? Like, and it was like this. It was a different time. Like, so I could see where some of that stuff would go under a lot of people's radar at that time. But I think that's where I said like the 90s is when people started really noticing it.
Like,
And I think it was because, because people were starting to come out of the closet more. I mean, you even probably statistically probably had a friend at that point that was gay, right? Like, I mean, I know I had at least a couple. So, I mean, at that point, I'm starting noticing this shit. And those were the ones that I started having these conversations with. And they're like, they were some of the first ones to point out shit like, you do realize how gay that movie is, right? Or it's like one big gay allegory or shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now that you mention it. And I mean, then the Grady scene at the end where he's like, you get this beautiful woman wants to sleep with you, yet you're here with me instead. I mean, that's not even the way he says it, because the way he says it, instead you're sleeping with me or something like that.
Yeah, the
like
way
the
he
whole
says it.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit. Like, so gay. And not only that, he sneaks into Grady's room. Like,
Yeah, through the window.
so fucking gay. Like, why didn't you knock on the front door? It's only like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I don't think his folks are going to have a problem with you showing up. Unless you guys are doing shit you're not supposed to. Like,
Exactly.
And I don't mean gays being the problem. I mean, they're teenagers. They shouldn't probably be that sexually active in general. But I mean, point is, it's just like, like the whole movie is very much a gay allegory on its surface. It's not even hidden. It's not underneath. It's not a twist at the end like Sleepaway Camp even, or some of the other films. I'm trying to think. There was at least one or two more that were a lot like Sleepaway Camp, where you think there's it's a guy or a girl, and it turns out to be the other way around. I'm trying to remember now. There was another movie I watched not that long ago that had the exact same twist in it.
I don't remember.
Not The Burning, but something like that. Was it The Burning? No.
No, The Burning is not.
No, but it's something like one of those movies at that time where they ended up killing one of the kids, and it's the sibling, but now they did the sex change thing.
Freddie Mercury was gay. Was next? You're gonna say Liberace was also gay and Rock Hudson too.
No, Liberace was flaming fucking gay.
How nobody knew that?
Nobody knew. Nobody knew back then. Your grandma loved him, thought he was the sexiest man alive.
But
Speaking of Misery, like that's all big deal in Misery with Liberace all over.
Yeah. I personally think 3 and 4 have the best cast and characters.
Oh yeah,
best most likable characters, best stories. It does suck that the Dream Warriors, even though they don't really technically succeed, the Doctor actually wins the day for them. So it kind of sucks that the 3 remaining ones get killed off so quick in the next movie. But we do get Alice and her crew, and there's this is so great. I think them 2 movies back to back are probably could be edited into one movie and it'd be amazing. So those are like the best. New Nightmare is incredible. But yeah, I mean, it's really good. I enjoyed it. There was something I wanted to say that you mentioned earlier when you were talking about the 3 and 4, and I can't remember what I was wanting to say about it. But anyways, yeah. If you guys want it, do it. Get you guys while you can. Get this set. I think this set will still be readily available for a while. Sadly, you probably won't get the red stuff, but I do think the 4K scans are worth it. The movies are great. I know everybody's got their favorites. I know people, some people like the Friday the 13th. Some people like the Halloweens. I like those movies too, but Freddy's always been my favorite, and that has also thanks to my older brother out here in the chat. It's one of his reasons why he's my favorite. It's just like you said, I can't remember a time when I have not seen Freddy. So Freddy was like on in my house, Dream Warriors was the first one I saw. To this day, even watching it now, I cannot watch the marionette puppet scene in Dream Warriors. That shit fucked me up as a kid, and I still can't watch it to this day. I have to close my eyes because it's I think that's a testament to the special effects of that scene. So yeah, there you guys have it. I hope you enjoyed it.
There's a couple of dodgy shots there, but yeah.
It is. But like
that is a batshit crazy scene.
Seeing that as a young kid,
oh, I bet
it messed me up so bad. To this day, I cannot watch that scene. It freaks me out. It just still does. I think part 4 has some of the best special effects and set pieces, personally, in my opinion, as much as I love part 3.
That's because that movie was built around those, basically. But
yeah. There's only one thing about part 3 that still gets me to this day, and it's the only thing about it I hate. You know how we talk about in certain horror movies, when you do a certain thing, you expect that person, you did this, so this is coming, right? The one orderly who tries to get what's her name to do the drugs again, he doesn't get any punishment, and he just disappears after that scene.
That's true. I never even noticed that before.
And that's my one problem I have with Dream Warriors, and have had with Dream Warriors for all these years, is because he should get his comeuppance. You knew Taryn was going to eventually be killed because that's what Freddy does. But like in horror movie etiquette, he was supposed to get comeuppance. So that's my one problem.
I don't know if he's a character in the original script or not. But I mean, I might be able to get a hold of. Does anybody know if maybe they address him in the novel or?
Yeah, do they do that?
Anything like that? Because that might be something that just got excised and sent to the floor. But otherwise, guys like that would get away with shit. So I mean, it's kind of realistic, I guess. I mean,
that I do get. I feel that it does feel realistic, like that, especially in that.
I mean, otherwise, it's just kind of a character moment for Taryn more than anything, like to kind of get to know who she is. To where, I mean, this creep, is trying to, and it kind of insinuates that she would have normally used to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, but it just feels so, like in the state of the movie, like it feels like, oh well, he's going something.
Yeah, but a lot of the adults never get. That's the thing that's kind of an ongoing.
But
I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. But it's kind of an ongoing theme in the nightmare movies is that the adults never are held accountable for what they really.
Yeah, because like their punishment is the kids are taken from them, so they're never really.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just always, for some reason, that has always rubbed me the wrong way in Dream Warriors. Whatever reason, it just did. But
I can see that though. I never really thought about it before, but I guess I never really thought of it other than being just like a character moment for her. So yeah.
But with that being said, is there anything else you want to say about these before we close it out?
No, like with you, I just recommend if you can get your hands on the standard edition, unless you're a super uber fan, there's no sense in worrying about the steelbook. There's nothing that special about it other than the covers. I kind of feel like a disappointed kid at Christmas who was expecting a PS5 and wound up with a PS4. That's the best way I can describe this feeling right now. Is like I was looking so forward to this box set. Yes, I'm glad to have it. Yes, I'm grateful that it exists. Yes, it's probably the best the movies have ever looked. But it feels like Warner Brothers really, really phoned it in. Even though we know that the extent of work that went into this, I'm impressed with that. The fact that we weren't even going to get 4K scans of the original films. I can't believe Warner Brothers would make that decision. That's kind of beyond like that. If that's true, then their home video department's in a lot worse shape than I thought it was. And they didn't just fire everybody and just keep on the archive department, and that's it.
Yeah. And
let them handle everything.
Yeah.
Because at this point, this is almost a bigger disappointment than the Superman box set in some ways.
Yeah, it's just like I agree with you because they could have.
It is better in others, though. I will give it that. But yeah,
I mean, the scans may vary, but the best ever look and everything. My biggest is the lack of special features or love and care to go into like new special features, stuff like even Shout did
deleted
a
scenes.
You know,
Other shit. Like, we know there's a shit ton of deleted scenes for New Nightmare and Freddy's Dead. Where are they?
exactly. Where's all that deleted stuff? I mean, give us that stuff, and I think probably a lot of people would have been very happy with
And
it.
I'm starting to wonder if Nightmare 3 doesn't have a bunch too. I know Nightmare 4 really doesn't, just because that movie was put together by tape and fucking toothpicks, but like, that's the thing with that movie, that it doesn't get enough praise considering it was shot during a writer's strike. They didn't have a finished fucking script. It was built around all the set pieces. I mean, the fact that they didn't have any of that shit and that movie still was able to be pulled together like that is a miracle.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Before, as we get ready to close down the show, one more question, because I know Brent Bartz has asked this a couple times. Do you think Robert Englund will do one more Nightmare film?
He has hinted there's possibilities. I know the longer they wait, the less likely it is, because the man's not young.
Yeah, he said he can't do, like, his knee's shot, his knee's gone and stuff, and he's has put on some weight, but I mean, he's an old man, right?
Yeah, I mean, dude's like, what, in his late 70s, early 80s, somewhere in there? Like, so yeah.
I met the dude once.
Oh, that's cool.
He's hinted that an animated version wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if they could work out a way of doing, like I said, it makes more sense if they could just have him like deep faked onto a younger model actor in some way. Because I mean, it's not like Freddy is in any, like, you go through these movies and until you get to like Freddy's Dead, I mean, even in that one, he's not in it as much, really. I mean, Freddy is not in the movies as much as you think in your mind.
Yeah, that's
the go back and look at him.
Because like, it's just the ever looming presence of him that he could be there at any moment is what's so scary about it. Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, you could get away with doing these movies with Robert still in a way, but at the same time, I'm not against letting it go. I know I hate saying that as somebody who's a huge fan of these, but it is time we do have to move on to new things. That's why I'm not against remakes of these classic movie characters. I mean, they got to live on somehow. And you could have done a hell of a lot worse than Jackie Earle Haley. It's just his fucking makeup sucked and the script sucked.
Yeah, the makeup and script was horrible.
I was gonna say, like, that's pretty solid casting for like another Freddy.
It is, and my thing is, I think it's nice of you.
Well, and people are talking Walton Goggins. That's another person I could go, okay, tell me what you got.
Oh yeah,
that would be interesting if I could see that.
He's got the right like body for it too. I could see that.
Well, you need somebody who can understand and relish and play in that playground, and that's where I feel like Jackie never really got a chance. I feel bad for him.
I was gonna say, I mean, there's because was it he did a lot of like makeup for Fallout, Walton Goggins. I think he could pull that off with Freddy for sure.
I could see him as Freddy. I know Kevin Bacon is wanting to do it, but I'm not sold on Kevin Bacon.
I'm not sold on that either.
I'm not sold on that.
No.
Kevin Bacon ain't that much younger than Robert Englund.
Yeah, I know. Robert has always wanted to do a prequel to Freddy where it was like the telling of how he led up to him being burned. That could have been interesting. He could probably still manage to do that.
He's getting too old now, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he did in all the flashbacks in all the movies.
Well, not just that. It's that Freddy is... Robert... Okay, this is the last thing I'll say about the whole thing. Wes always pictured Freddy as an older guy, but when they got Robert, things changed. Like, it made more sense, because look at most serial killers and stuff like that when they're caught. Yeah. Jeffrey Dahmer and all them. Like, they're usually younger to not quite middle-aged guys, right? They're never these old men usually, unless it's some rando they happen to catch because of a DNA thing 30 years after the fact. But, like, to me, it makes more sense that Freddy would have been a guy probably in his late 20s to early 30s, probably. At the most, maybe 40.
True. It's true. But yeah, I'm okay with letting, my thing is, it's okay to let things end. If we never get another Freddy, if we never get another Jason, if we never get another Halloween or any of these, I have all the, like, I have 7 Freddys, 12 Friday the 13th. I have, 13 Halloween movies. I'm good. I can revisit Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason over and over. But
at the same time, there's how many fucking Frankenstein and Dracula movies?
exactly,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. But if they can manage to make another Freddy movie or a Jason movie or whatever, and have a right cast and a right good story, I personally think they should keep them in period pieces, keep them in the 80s. Even if it is a remake, I think they should stay in those movies belong in the 80s, much like the monster movies still tend to, like Nosferatu and all them, still tend to work better in the Gothic area. I think you
Yeah.
should keep these slasher villains like this in the 80s. I really do.
But it also comes
Um,
down to like, the person making the film, the director,
that's true.
could they capture that era? You
It's
know?
true. I
Like
think if you get the right director and right story,
Well,
it can be done.
I agree to a point. I mean, if you're getting Robert involved, maybe that's the way to play it, but because you can bounce around times and do whatever you want. Excuse
Yeah.
me, but I think the thing with Freddy that's unique is that the one hurdle that a lot of these modern horror films have, as we've talked about, is cell phones. Guess
Yes,
what?
that's why
Cell
I say
phones don't mean diddly shit in Freddy's universe.
that's
they can
true.
exist.
In the dreams.
So
yeah.
you can do modern films, and that's the beauty of Freddy's. He can just last forever and ever and ever, or you can do a new version. And again, there's enough playground there to come up with something new, not to even be punny with that, but like really there is between what they did try to do in the remake and or like, the other version, like I said, where it's a little more devious, where the parents actually made a deal or something with Freddy, and he's actually been around forever. And you can even have that and try that as a different kind of take on it. But if not, if you want to do something with Robert, I'm sure many people would be happy to see another 2-3 films with him filling in some way too.
But I'll be honest with you, Walton Goggins was a good
He's
choice.
a good idea.
I could see him. I could see
No,
him as
yeah.
Freddy. But I know we need to close this down, and it took us forever to even get to the
And
Nightmare.
Nicolas Cage, didn't he say something once
Yeah,
about-
Nicolas Cage said he would like
That
to do
would be
something. I
good.
could see that.
That'd be funny. That'd be like its own, like it would have to be like a completely
I'm the
different
man of your
version.
dreams.
I was gonna say like it would have to be a different character.
I'll play Freddy, but I gotta have hair.
I'm your boy for now, Nancy. I can just see that. Who's Nancy? She doesn't exist here. But we're going to close it down. I know it took us a lot longer to get to than I anticipated.
Yeah, we still kept it under 3 hours.
We did. So, but like real quick, I know we mentioned too. Do you have any candidates for Freddy that you would choose? Just real quick. It doesn't have to be a big list. You can say 1 or 2 names if you have any outside of Walter Goggins and Nicolas Cage.
Oh God.
Just
I mean, other than Jackie Earle Haley too.
Yeah. Who would you could you see as Freddy Krueger
Oh God.
that could fill in for Robert Englund?
Like I said, Walton Goggins is a good choice.
Mm-hmm. Come on, runner. The clock's ticking, so we
I'm
keep
trying
this
to
under 3 hours.
I'm trying to think. It's fucking hard, man.
Oh, Timothy Chalamet. No, I
No,
couldn't. No.
He's a good actor, but no, he is. Okay, if the closest person I can think of, and like from that generation, is maybe like Austin Butler or something like that. But
Too sexy.
yeah, but he's gonna be covered in makeup and shit.
I don't.
He's got like. But like
I don't see him.
He's thin enough and he's young enough to play the part for long, and he's pretty good with voices. So
I just couldn't see that. That's me personally. I couldn't see that, but I mean, if you could see it,
yeah, but he's pretty good.
Freddy.
He's pretty good at like sounding like completely different people.
Could you imagine Hugh Jackman as Freddy?
No, oh God.
No.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be funny. But like you can't take that seriously though. Like
No,
let's be real. It's like
who could possibly Chris Pine could possibly be a decent Freddy.
Weird, but yeah.
It'd be weird. I could maybe because the way he moves and the way I don't know. Maybe not the voice, but like the way he moves.
I don't know.
I could maybe see him as
He might be. See, you got to get somebody like Robert, who's kind of a chameleon, though, too.
Yeah, you kind
Like
of
even
need
like a Sacha
character
Baron Cohen would be interesting, maybe. But I don't know. I don't want him to do it. But you know what I mean.
Bill Skarsgård. He's all the other people. So yeah,
That's the only problem I have with him. Maybe because he gets so into the character, which is funny because I just watched Nosferatu again. It's one of the movies I didn't bring on because we've talked about it so many times.
Yeah.
And he does. He just knocks it out of the
He
fucking
could
park in
be,
that. But
like,
with
solid-
it, he fucked it up.
Yeah.
I thought he was good. I thought he was good in the first
Jared
one.
Leto.
Well, the problem I
No.
have with it may not even be his fault, but he should have been smart enough to bring this up. Because Tim Curry and everybody else brought it up, I think, in that behind the scenes thing they did of the original It. And I was saying it constantly. It's like, this makes absolutely no sense. Why the fuck would you look like a crusty, scary fucking clown to begin with? Pennywise don't look crusty and scary. He looks like Bozo 2.0 until you get too close, and then he starts to change. Right?
Mhm.
And then Tim Curry makes the joke that he didn't even need all that fucking makeup or CGI to do that shit. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the beauty of Tim Curry's performance in that. And that's kind of the whole point of it, is that he lures the kids in. He's like, smell the popcorn. You want a balloon? Come on in. There's a circus down here. We got washed down here in the storm. You know, that's all in the book, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's trying to lure the kids in. And then at the right moment, he scares the shit out of them and eats them because the fear tenderizes the meat. That's the whole point. If the kid's already fucking scared, he's going to be sitting there scared for like 10 minutes before you get to eat him. That's not how this should work.
No,
Like,
you don't get your food.
no, Nosferatu, on the other hand, he nailed that shit.
Yeah, I think he did.
Nailed
I
it to
really
the
enjoyed it.
fucking wall like you wouldn't believe. He got everything down to the accent, to the way he portrayed the character. The only thing I wasn't a big huge fan of, but it's growing on me, is the mustache.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
I was trying to do the fucking breathing that.
Oh, I thought you were
Orlok
just
does.
yelling.
Nah,
I thought it was good. Yeah, even the voice.
No, my voice just cracked.
Yeah.
It was wrong.
Cillian
But,
Murphy as Freddy could be a good choice. I could see that.
That'd be an
I could see
interesting
that.
Freddy. I think
Yeah.
people brought him up before. Yeah,
I could see that. That's a good choice.
I mean, if he
Yeah.
can,
Better than Austin Butler.
I could see him pulling it off.
maybe. No, I could see.
I mean,
Austin
honestly,
Butler pull
considering
it off.
Wes worked with him in that airplane
Oh,
Red
Red
Eye.
Eye,
hate,
Red Eye, yeah,
I did not like that movie, but
yeah,
I
it wasn't
think
very good.
I
it
think
was
Wes,
okay.
yeah, I bet you he would. I'm curious if he would ever thought that. Yeah, this guy would have made a good Freddy. 'cause
Yeah, but he
yeah.
could. I think he could.
Yeah.
Could he
Uncle
pull-
Remus,
could he
I'm not
pull
a
off the
fan of
voice?
Jack Quaid. I'm sorry. I'm just not a fan
No.
of him.
No, not
No,
the right
he-
type.
He's
No.
not. I don't dislike Jack Quaid, but like he
I'm
has
not
a
a big fan of him.
he.
You
His
know,
dad, on the other hand, could have played or Uncle Eddie.
Well, no,
Yeah.
no. Jack Quaid has like a shtick with a lot of the stuff he's in. It's like it wouldn't really work well for Freddy.
You know, he's a little too big, but believe it or not, I love what Zach Ward did in Freddy versus Jason when he's one of the few convincing people that when he's being Freddy,
hmm
I believe he's Freddy. Right? Because
Yeah.
anybody else who's ever like, doing that shtick with Freddy, like they're just kind of like off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure, it's Robert's voice.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah.
doing a lip sync thing or vice versa. But you know what I'm talking about when he's
Yeah,
in the
yeah. When he's in the
bathtub
pool
there.
of blood and he's
If he wasn't so
screaming-
big, I'd say he would be a good candidate to play.
yeah,
Freddy.
he's not too bad. Yeah,
He's just a bigger guy, though. That's the problem. And I don't mean big as in fat. I mean he's built.
yeah, he's a little bit more
He's too
muscular
built.
guy. Yeah, yeah. Matt Smith is all right. He
Yeah,
could maybe see
Matt
that.
Smith, he'd be a different, weirder kind of take. But maybe that'd be more along the lines of what David Warner would have been. For those who don't know,
Yeah,
David Warner
yeah.
was originally cast as Freddy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it
Even
fell
did makeup
through.
on him and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but some good choices. Jim Carrey, maybe back in the day. I don't know about now.
I think he's expressed something of that line or like
It
somebody's
could
asked.
work. It could possibly work. Jared Leto, hell no.
No. Well, as I was getting like with Jim Carrey, I don't want anybody who's too famous. Like when Robert
yeah, you know
did
what's too
it,
famous.
and he's still, even through his fame as Freddy, a lot of people still didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Despite being on that huge show like V, he still managed to be Freddy, and people couldn't pinpoint who that guy was if they saw him otherwise.
Yeah.
So you need somebody who's like that, who's a chameleon, who's not very well known. Although I love Walton Goggins and a lot of the ones we've mentioned, they're all pretty well known. So I feel like maybe there's an unknown out there
Yeah.
that might be able to take it on.
I have one that just popped in my head a couple of minutes ago that I was holding off to. It's a fucking joke. You guys are gonna hate me for this, but Adam Sandler.
I'm your worst nightmare.
I just thought of that now. I'm like, oh my god.
Welcome to prime time, Betchy Doodoo.
These stupid kids, they won't die.
Go to your home. Go to hell.
Why won't you just die?
Jackie or Haley? Nah. Dan Stevens could possibly. I don't know if
No,
you
I
guys
think
know
Jackie,
him, but
just give him another shot. He doesn't have to play the same Freddy again.
Yeah.
It can be something completely different. Or like I do like Walton Goggins, some of the other ones I mentioned, but again,
I do like
otherwise just go
Cillian
for
Cillian
unknown.
Murphy. I
Cillian
do
would
like
work,
that.
but or Killian,
Yeah,
however
but
you say
yeah,
it,
like some of these guys are too big, too pop, too
Could he nail the
famous.
voice though?
Oh yeah,
Cillian
have you not heard his voice? He
Like,
probably wouldn't even need the
like,
echo thing.
as
That
well, you
they
need
put
somebody
on
who can
Robert.
also make it their
As
own at
Freddy?
the same time, right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to mimic. Like, that's the thing.
No,
I mean,
I'm not saying that.
that's the beauty of like why I brought up like look, I get it. Dracula and Frankenstein are actually based on novels, so their own thing kind of initially before, and Freddy is originally first and foremost a movie. I get that. But that being said, I mean, look at the variation you had between Bela Lugosi to Christopher Lee to the various others who played Dracula up through Gary Oldman and beyond. Like, you have so many different types but they're all still Dracula in their own way. You could play with this a little bit. Freddy actually lends it to it. That's what I was saying. Like, Mikey and Jason, they're so cookie cutter. Like, you can't really deviate too far from what they are.
Yeah.
Or you get stupid
And it doesn't
shit.
really matter who plays him, other than I
Right.
would like to see Kate Hodder one more time.
Exactly. Like, that's the other beauty of those two. Even Leatherface, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chucky and Freddy are the two that have too much personality to where, that you have to either come up with something original or you just have to stick with what works. And sadly, Brad Dourif is not going to be with us forever.
No.
But the beauty of AI and all that kind of business is if he's signed off on it, they've recorded enough of his voice that they can probably work something out with him to where Chucky can be voiced by Brad Dourif till the end of time if they want it to be that way. Otherwise, it's time to reinvent Chucky in some other new form, and it wasn't the remake we got.
Yeah.
That's for goddamn sure. But you got to stick with the voodoo aspect to it, or at least a displaced soul. You can't make it a smart machine gone wrong like Megan was, because that's what Child's Play remake was. We've already established that, and that didn't work for that.
If I'm honest, as much as I love Jennifer Tilly, time to give Tiffany a rest. Time to give Tiffany a rest.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to go back to formula or whatever with Chucky and stuff like that, I'm not against it. I think they played it out.
John, Uncle,
no,
God, no.
no,
God, no. But go ahead,
I'd
Tom.
rather
Sorry.
see John Cena play fucking Ernest before I'd rather see that.
He looks like him.
He does.
Go ahead,
Can
Tom.
you pull off the accent? No, I'm done. We need to get out of here anyway.
We can. We can. Yes.
6 is live, so head on over after we're done.
Yeah, go over there.
6 is live, so check it out. There's the link.
There you guys go. And that is one thing I did like about Freddy vs. Jason, and I think it's one of the last slashers that was actually allowed to be a slasher, is, and make sure you guys go to 6, is they were able to show the gore, they were able to show boobs in the movie, and Freddy got away with saying things like, how sweet, dark meat. You can't do that in slasher movies nowadays. They're so bland.
Yeah,
they don't allow any of that.
Wears a Christmas sweater and shit like that.
Yeah. They don't allow any of that. And like Freddy vs. Jason was like one of the last slasher movies to actually allow that. Even the Terrifier movies, which they do have like some nudity, I think in the first one. Other than that, you don't even get that
Freddy
stuff.
vs. Jason came out in a time where it was against the grain too.
Exactly.
Because yes, you had the revival there, but it was post that. The Scream revival, which the only one that I think really kind of reinvigorated itself. No, that's not true, because, both H2O and Chucky managed to make a comeback. Freddy and Jason were the only ones who kind of languished, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, until Freddy versus Jason, which kind of topped them all to that point, up until the Halloween remake, right? Or not remake, whatever you want to call it, reboot-quel. Not remake,
Legacy sequel.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm talking about box office business-wise. So
Yeah. But okay, with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in and waiting so long through our first couple movies, since we didn't get to the show last week to get to the Nightmare on Elm Street. And I normally would end with the clip I always do, but I'm going to use a different clip tonight since it goes with the theme of the show. Yes, but as always, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and
Stick that in your VCR. Suck on it.